Chapter 2395. Elder Lu's call was answered by hundreds of people. No one asked for the reason and purpose. The moment he finished his words, hundreds of Lu family members, from the old to the young, all returned from the depths of the valley to prepare for war. This was the trust they had for Elder Lu. For any decision made by the old patriarch, they would never have any doubt. Seeing the family members leave without any doubt, Elder Lu's eyes revealed a trace of relief. Under such circumstances, due to his incompetence, the family members had to give up the Lu family's 10,000 years of foundation and come to this valley to live without purpose. They could still trust him like when they were in the town. He was more or less moved by this. To have such a family member was his fortune. For them, even if his body was crushed, so what? Lightly clenching his fist, Elder Lu turned and left. He also needed to prepare. Dad! At this moment, Yao Hua shouted at Elder Lu's back. She could see the confusion in her eyes. She didn't know what she did wrong to make such a big reaction. Can I know? Do you know why I brought my family to this valley to live in seclusion? Elder Lu asked Yao Hua. Yao Hua shook her head. If it was before, she would definitely think that living in seclusion was to wait for an opportunity. If she stayed in the town, she would definitely be suppressed by the Lu family. Under such circumstances, it was better to leave the town and go to a place where no one could find them. Waiting for an opportunity was also a way to advance by retreating. But under such circumstances, how could she still think like that? From her dad's words, there was obviously another reason for living in seclusion here. Have you ever thought about why that Nebula level suddenly came to our town to find trouble with us? Elder Lu frowned, as if he was reminding Yao Hua. He helped her to pass the words bit by bit. In our area, there are more than 10 towns that are similar to our town. Why didn't he go to other towns? Is it because our town has a good future? Or because our town has rich resources? Which upper-class family did our Lu family offend? No. Yao Hua shook her head. In terms of the amount of resources they had, their town was actually considered to be in the middle. The development prospects of the town were not the best. There was no need to even think about provoking the upper-class clans. The Lu clan had always been very strict, and it was impossible for their clansmen to be arrogant and domineering. Furthermore, no one from the upper circle had ever come to this town. Did he purposely come to our Lu family? After hesitating for a while, Yao Hua pursed her lips and said. Not long after, she frowned in confusion. But why is it like this? Our family controls an interstellar teleportation array. Suddenly, Elder Lu said something shocking. It's in the bell tower that has been passed down in our family for generations. This, Yao Hua was shocked. She didn't know anything about this. What she knew was that Master Lu had never allowed anyone to get close to the clock tower since she was young. When she was young, she and Lu Shuiheng secretly ran away to explore. He was taught a harsh lesson by Master Lu. After that, she didn't dare to go there again, but she had always been curious about that clock tower. Galaxy Teleportation Array? From the name, it seemed to be a path to other planets. The natives of this planet all knew about the other planets, but no one knew how to leave this planet and go to other places. There was a restriction within the planet. Those below the universe level couldn't fly. Even those above the universe level could at most fly. It was still impossible to leave the planet. Her father actually said, "Is it a teleportation array to other planets?" Yao Hua probed. That's right. Elder Lu took a deep breath. As long as it's activated, not only can you go to other planets, you can also go to the upper class without any restrictions. It's not an exaggeration to say that as long as this teleportation array is activated, the entire structure of our planet will change. The upper class can go to the lower class without fear, and the lower class can also go to the upper class. Yao Hua was so shocked that she couldn't speak. Wanting to go to the upper class was the wish of countless people. But if the upper class could also go to the lower class without fear, the lower class could very well suffer a devastating blow. One must know, the difference in overall power between the upper class and the lower class was like heaven and earth. It was because of the existence of the planet's restrictions that allowed this planet to maintain a stable development. People of different classes didn't interfere with each other. When this restriction was lifted, who knew if the upper class would start a war with the lower class? In the end, the ones who could really benefit, they would definitely be the ones who lived in the upper class. Does my brother know about this? He knows. Elder Lu took a deep breath. When you two were young, you always liked to run inside. There was one time when I didn't pay attention and he ran inside. I originally thought that he would take over the family in the future, so I told him about this. Then why did he wanted revenge? No matter how deep the conflict between the father and son was, no one understood Lu Shuiheng better than Elder Lu. Actually, I already knew about Bai He's death. I believe he must have investigated the murderer who killed Bai He. He's been investigating the Lu family's cosmic system level. He must have gotten some information. Dad, even if the Lu family is in chaos, it doesn't prove that the teleportation formation can be activated. Yao Hua frowned. But what if it is destroyed? Elder Lu said, that cosmic system level is heading towards the teleportation formation. There is no doubt about this. It takes a long time to get excited, before there is no threat. He can also be patient and slowly activate or crack the secret. But when he's really forced into a corner, what if he directly destroys the teleportation formation in a life-and-death struggle? Yao Hua already knew the seriousness of the problem. She really didn't expect that her family was hiding such a big secret. Galaxy teleportation formation. She was very clear about the seriousness of the problem. Her father definitely didn't say everything. There must be a more serious hidden danger hidden in it. Unfortunately, time was of the essence, and he had already said enough to this extent. Then let's go back to the Lu family. Kill. The elder took a deep breath. It could be seen that he was still struggling in his heart. Leave no one from the Lu family alive. Why? I'm not sure if anyone else in the Lu family knows. This news must not be spread. Our family's mission is to defend the teleportation formation. Elder Lu's eyes were serious. Although I don't want to, they must die. Chapter 2396. Who are you? The Lu clan elders were all shocked by Yi Zichen's sudden appearance. Never mind. There's no harm in telling you. I am the future. Yi Zichen spun the scimitar around his wrist a few times, then stood in front of them with a smile. Also, I was the one who made the 2 candidates for your patriarch. It's you. All of a sudden, an elder charged towards Yi Zichen. Yi Zichen raised the scimitar. The elder of the 5th level of the star body realm fell onto the ground without any resistance. Instant kill. The members of the Lu clan turned pale with fright when they saw this. Don't even think about fighting me. I believe you all know the difference in strength between us. Tell the person in the clock tower to come out. I'm looking for him, Yi Zichen said indifferently. Arrogant to the extreme, another elder slammed the table. Just as he finished speaking, he fell to the ground before he could even get up. I don't want to fight you, but that doesn't mean I won't. In my eyes, your lives are as worthless as grass. Either find the person in the clock tower, or everyone here dies. What a bully, the blade flashed. Heads fell to the ground. Yi Zichen was just that domineering. He didn't even give them the right to get angry. During that time, he also looked at the clock tower. He was certain that the person in the clock tower was paying attention to everything that was happening. He's in the clock tower. Yi Zichen felt like he was being watched. That feeling came from the clock tower. You're really good at enduring. Come out. Lousy wants to see how long you can hide. Whoosh, the blade flashed continuously. An elder would fall to the ground wherever the blade flashed. Tell him to come out. You're asking to die. At that moment, a flame suddenly burned in front of Yi Zichen. The flames instantly devoured him. The scorching flames burned his body. Lu Tianning laughed arrogantly. He was the one who released the flames. You dare to come to the Lu clan. Where did you get the fire from? Suddenly, Yi Zichen's voice echoed through the flames. Then, an afterimage appeared in front of Lu Tianning, and all of the flames surrounding Yi Zichen were absorbed into his body. Fourth bro. Scram. Yi Zichen, who was holding Lu Tianning's neck, slapped Lu Tianlong away, causing him to crash into the wall. After that, Yi Zichen gathered power in his palm. He patted Lu Tianning's back. In an instant, Lu Tianying's robes exploded, revealing a flame mark on his back. This mark, Yi Zichen couldn't be more familiar with it. Fire scorch. Dong. Yi Zichen pressed Lu Tianying, who was grabbed on the ground, causing Lu Tianying to start breathing. Tell me, where did you get this flame mark? What's your relationship with Hua Xia? Cough. Lu Tianying grinned. Suddenly, a raging fire burned on his body. Even Yi Zichen felt like he was being burned. The moment he retreated, Lu Tianying, who was in the flames, turned into a pile of ash. Old Fourth! Lu Tianlong leaped forward with a shout. However, Yi Zichen also grabbed him and tore Lu Tianlong's clothes apart. He also had a flame mark on his body. What's your relationship with Hua Xia? Yi Zichen placed the scimitar on Lu Tianlong's neck. At the very beginning, he came to deal with the Lu family's star system level experts. But now, he actually found out all of them had a flame mark that belonged to Hua Xia. Speak, where is Hua Xia? Yi Zichen grabbed Lu Tianlong's clothes, then suddenly grabbed his neck and walked over to the elders. Without exception, all of them had a flame mark. Flaming skeletons. That was the flame mark that belonged solely to Hua Xia. Back in the village, the villagers that he controlled all had a flame mark like this. It was the mark that Hua Xia left in their hearts. Those who had this mark would absolutely obey all of Hua Xia's orders. They would either die or be enslaved for the rest of their lives. Speak. Die if you don't speak. The blade of the scimitar pressed against Lu Tianlong's skin. Yi Zichen's sharp scimitar had already slit his neck, causing blood to flow out. Lu Tianlong laughed in disdain. Just kill me. Do you think I don't dare? Yi Zichen glared. If I want to, I can cut off your head with one slash. Then just kill us. Lord Hu will take revenge for the Lu family, and you will die with us. Ha ha ha! Whoosh! Intense flames suddenly burst forth from Lu Tianlong's body. Lu Tianlong, who was in the flames, laughed heartily. He looked like he was about to explode. Not good. Self-destruct. Yi Zichen hurriedly retreated, but before he could, Lord Hua lives forever. Boom! Lu Tianlong instantly exploded within the flames. The power of a level 9 star level self-destruct raised the entire Lu clan to the ground. As for the clan members, they might have already been devoured by Lu Tianlong's self-destruction before they even knew what had happened. Yi Zichen put his arm in front of him. Yi Zichen's hollow or robe covered his face. After a few minutes of the explosion, he slowly lowered his arm. Fire Scorpion! He really did get into the upper circle. Yi Zichen looked toward the clock tower. Fire Scorpion. Come out! Yi Zichen rushed out of the clock tower, gathered the power of the universe in his hand, and slashed at the clock tower with all his might. Come out! Come out! Yi Zichen swung his weapon. After countless injections of power, the star-level scimitar began to crumble. Without a weapon, Yi Zichen used his fists. He infused the walls of the clock tower with enough power to instantly kill a level 9 star level expert. Sand and stones fell from the clock tower. The entire clock tower seemed to be on the verge of collapse under his fists. Not coming out? Like a turtle hiding in its shell? Whoosh! All of a sudden, the center of Yi Zichen's eyebrows flashed with golden light. An array of golden light shot up from his back. Yi Zichen reached out and grabbed the golden light. A golden longsword fell into his hands. Slash! No! Just as Yi Zichen's blade was about to land, a white-haired elder suddenly appeared in front of the clock tower. He spread his arms and stood in front of the clock tower. Before long, Yao Hua appeared as well. Yao Hua! Yi Zichen raised his sword with one hand and continued to slash down. It's you? Yao Hua looked at Yi Zichen in shock. Tell this old man to move aside. I'm going to slash this clock tower in half. Yi Zichen pointed forward while Elder Lu stood in front of him. I won't leave even if I die. Ha, great. Yi Zichen laughed. Then his gaze turned cold. Then you can die. Chapter 2397. Emotionless. He raised his golden sword high in the air. The heavy sword pressure caused the Lu clan members who rushed over to feel as if their throats were being choked, and even breathing became difficult. Elder Lu, who was guarding in front of the clock tower, his palms were also sweating. Your family is really interesting. Just as the sword light was about to descend, Yi Zichen waved his hand and dispersed the golden sword, then shrugged helplessly at Yao Hua. You're the ones who were invited. You're the ones who didn't let me do it. What do you want? Playing with me? Yao Hua let out a long sigh when she saw Yi Zichen sheath his sword. The pressure of that sword, just now, was too fierce. Under this kind of pressure, she felt suffocated. She smiled gratefully towards Yi Zichen, then hurried in front of Elder Lu. Father. Elder Lu exhaled deeply and sat on the ground. The other clansmen also rushed forward at this moment. That's enough. Yi Zichen couldn't help but pinch his head when he saw the Lu family. If they hadn't come, the sword would have slashed down. The bell tower would be destroyed. This old man. Suddenly, Yi Zichen frowned, then walked towards the elder. What are you doing? When a clansman walked up, Yi Zichen pushed him to the side like a chicken, then directly walked in front of Elder Lu and slapped him. This palm instantly tore Elder Lu's clothes apart. What are you going to do? Behave yourselves. Yi Zichen glared at the Lu family clansmen. The clansmen all gulped and took 2 steps back under his gaze. Then Yi Zichen grabbed Elder Lu and flipped him around. No. Yi Zichen wanted to see if the old man also had the mark of flame pyrolite on him. He actually didn't. Was there something wrong with his brain? Why would he stop him? She subconsciously looked at Yao Hua. Yao Hua gripped her clothes tightly and looked at Yi Zichen cautiously. Don't you dare. Don't think too much, okay? Yi Zichen frowned. What does this geezer do? No. Are you guys even going to let people do this job or not? Do it. At this moment, Lu Shuiheng suddenly appeared. He held a weapon in his hand and couldn't help but stare blankly at the flattened Lady Lu. Very quickly, he gathered his thoughts and walked over. Mr. Future, I never thought it would be you. From future brother to future brother, and now to the current Mr. Future, Lu Shuiheng could feel the respect that strength could bring. Unfilial son, the old man shouted angrily. Lu Shuiheng looked straight at the old man. Old man, it's you who's pedantic. Father said you want to avenge sister-in-law. Is that so? Yao Hua bit her lips and said. She had heard the secret of the clock tower from the old man. Although she still couldn't understand the situation, she could feel that if the clock tower was broken, the problem would become very troublesome. She wanted to know what Lu Shuiheng was thinking. She wanted to make sure if she had really been deceived by her most trusted brother. That's right. Lu Shuiheng nodded without any hesitation. I killed this cosmic system state to get revenge for your sister-in-law. Then you said for the sake of the family. I mean it. Lu Shuiheng said seriously. What do you mean? Do you know how important a thing in the clock tower is? Do you know the consequences of doing this? Elder Lu shouted with all his might, causing his voice to tremble. You're too pedantic. Lu Shuiheng repeated what he had just said. Yi Zichen, who stood on the side, silently looked at the Lu family members. Something big. These people were talking about a mountain of clouds and a mountain of fog. The problem was this clock tower. There's a secret hidden here. Yi Zichen squinted his eyes as he looked at the clock tower. Actually, he wanted to go in and deal with Huixia more. Deal with Huixia. He couldn't be bothered to care what Lu Shuiheng and his family wanted to do. Yi Zichen looked at how they were arguing. He probably wouldn't be able to get a result in a short period of time. All of a sudden, Yi Zichen seemed to hear someone call him and throw a pebble at him. Yi Zichen looked in front of him. It was actually the beggar boy that he hadn't seen for a few days. When did he get here? Yi Zichen shrugged. He noticed that the family of 3 was still arguing without any results, while the other clansmen were also listening solemnly. Thus, Yi Zichen walked towards the young man openly. Why did you come over here? Why didn't I see you collect rent these past few days? I forgot, huh? The young man laughed. You're rather sincere. You actually reminded me to collect rent. Since that's the case, then just directly give me the rent. You want if I give it to you? Yi Zichen glared. What did you promise me? The Lu family definitely wouldn't cause trouble for me if I stayed at your place. They came the very same night. I know, the young man shrugged. You know, also don't say nonsense. I said that I would guarantee your absolute safety. I didn't say that they wouldn't come. My feet are on them. How could I cut off their legs? The young man twitched his mouth. If you're truly in danger, then someone will naturally save you if you stay here. Aren't you in no danger? What does that have to do with me? This is truly interesting. Shameless. Give me money. Give me money. The young man reached out his hand. Yizichin shook his head with a wry smile, then took out a handful of money and placed it in the young man's hand. Here, I won't be staying at your place from now on. That's it. Don't. I'll give you a discount. There's no need. Once the Liu family was taken care of, no one would bother them anymore. There were so many inns in the town. It was also hard to live in. Why did he have to go to the wilderness and live in a thatched hut? Forget it if you don't want to stay. Unable to persuade him to stay, the young man spat as if he was about to shed all pretense of cordiality. You have no taste. My place isn't even suitable for ordinary people. I don't have the fortune to enjoy it. Yizichin waved his hand, then looked at him. What are you doing here? Of course I'm here to make a living. The young man rubbed his nose. Wherever there's money, I'll be there. Just as Yizichin was confused, the young man suddenly patted the shovel behind him, then pointed at the cave in the corner of the clock tower. Holy shit, this guy couldn't have dug in, right? You dug in? Yizichin was shocked. There were spiritual formations all around, yet he was actually able to dig in from the outside. Just how much work was that? And he wasn't discovered by Huixia? That's for sure, the young man smiled. You really want to go in, right? How about it? My place, it's very cheap. It only costs 5 million. Oh, don't use your sword. The main thing right now is that he doesn't want you to use your sword. 5 million. Are you going in or not? If you don't, then I'm going to bury you. Chapter 2398. He shouldered a large shovel. The youth proudly led the way. Yizichin followed behind and sensed the magnitude of the work he'd done. You're really something. How long have you been digging for? Yizichin and the others had already walked for nearly 5 minutes, but they still hadn't reached the exit. From there, he could also sense how long this passageway was. 5 million isn't a loss, is it? The youth hefted the shovel. There are too many formations buried in this clock tower. I had to go around them when I was digging. It wasn't easy. Not bad. Yizichin gave the youth a thumbs up. I still don't know your name? Dijou, said the youth. That's pretty cool, said Yizichin. Yizichin grinned at the youth, then asked, how much longer until we can get out of here? Soon. About half a minute later, Yizichin saw the exit. Dijou hefted the shovel and walked up. As he did, he pulled Yizichin along. This is the inside of the clock tower? Yizichin looked around. The place they'd just emerged from was covered in mysterious runes and spirit stones arranged in a special pattern. Dense elemental energy swirled around them. Lightning. If Yizichin wasn't mistaken, the entire place was filled with lightning elemental energy. That's right, this is it. Pay up. Dijou reached out. They'd agreed to pay up once they got inside. Yizichin couldn't be bothered to act shamelessly. He took out 5 million star coins and placed it in Dijou's hand, then wandered around curiously. Stop right there. Suddenly, Dijou tossed the shovel to the ground, walked up, and pulled Yizichin back. What is it? Don't wander around. Can't you see that these are formations? Dijou pointed at the dark lights. They can't be activated anymore, said Yizichin. Then who knows if they'll activate if we go in? Dijou seemed to be very knowledgeable about spirit arrays, as he explained. Some spirit arrays look ordinary and will not activate even if they are left there. However, as long as someone enters, there's a possibility that they will be activated. Oh, I understand. Yizichin was half an idiot when it came to formations. Even back in the Milky Way, Yin Shang and Emperor Hades' Su Yun were the most proficient in formations. He didn't know that there were so many twists and turns in the formation. Since Dijou had reminded him, he naturally wouldn't enter rashly. The array formation could not be carelessly entered. Thus, Yizichin walked along the edge towards the nearby stairs. Goodbye. His purpose of coming here was to find Huixia, so he had no interest in these spiritual arrays. Yizichin cupped his hands towards Dijou, then prepared to go find him. Where are you going? Yes, the people up there are already dead. Dijia blocked the shovel again and raised his eyebrows to remind him. Huh, dead. Cosmic system state? Dead? Yizichin glared at Dijia. I've already gone up there. One of them is lying on the ground. It looks like he's been dead for a while, Dijia replied. If you don't believe me, you can go and take a look. F*CK, is this for real? Hearing that, Yizichin ran up the clock tower. Halfway through the run, an open door attracted his attention. He walked inside and saw a middle-aged man lying on the ground. The man had a head full of silver hair. His arms were dry, his eye sockets were pitch black, and his eyeballs were bulging. From the looks of it, he had indeed been dead for a while. This is Xie. Yizichin reached out and took off the man's clothes. There was also a flaming skull on his chest. F*CK. I knew it. The flaming skull mark proved that he was definitely not Xie's true body. He couldn't even be considered a host. He was purely a slave under Xie's control. This guy, Yizichin rubbed his chin and let out a long sigh. Just where was he hiding? But since he was able to control a cosmic system level expert, it was obvious that he really might be above the universe level. That's not right. Suddenly, Yizichin froze. It had been less than a year since Yizichin found out about Xie. Lu Shuheng and Yao Huan meant that cosmic system level expert had already been with the Lu family for several years. There was a conflict in time. See, Dijou walked in with a shovel and began to dig a hole in the room right in front of Yizichin. What are you doing? Yizichin was confused by Dijou's actions. I'm burying him, Dijou shrugged. He's already dead. We can't just let him lie here forever, right? It's so scary. Just what's up with this, bro? Yizichin frowned and knocked on the ground, causing the sound to reverberate throughout the clock tower. This isn't dirt. How are you going to dig? What's more, why are you burying him here? It's so creepy. Just drag him outside and bury him later. That's fine too. Dijou placed the corpse on his shoulder. What are you going to do now? Stay here or go out. The cosmic system level was dead. Thus, Yizichin's search for Xie ended. Yizichin had thought that the person here was Xie, but he didn't expect him to be a puppet. Qing Hui's information also pointed in that direction. Now, it felt like everything was over. Let's go out. Since the person was already dead, there was no point in staying here. You're not interested in the spiritual formations below? Dijou suddenly asked as he looked down at the formations. Yizichin noticed that they were at the bottom of the clock tower. They had entered from the bottom floor of the bell tower. Looking down from here, it looked like a complete and huge array. The staircase of the clock tower also spiraled upwards, leaving the center of the tower empty. You recognize this formation? At this point, Yizichin asked casually, if I'm not wrong, this should be a large-scale spatial transfer formation, Dijou said seriously. When I came here, I wanted to dig out the spirit stones below, but I didn't manage to do so. This means that there are formations around the spirit stones, but I can't tell where they are. Spatial transfer formation? A teleportation formation? Yizichin frowned as he looked down at the formation. Why was there a teleportation formation here? Where did it go? The old man outside was trying so hard to guard this place because of the teleportation formation, right? Lu Shuiheng was arguing with him. They seemed to be arguing about the use of the formation as well. You have an idea? A little bit. Dijou nodded and licked his lips. If I can dig out all those stones, I feel like I can sell them for a lot of money. That's not what I'm talking about. Yizichin shook his head. If only Hua Jinro was here. Let her take a good look. This is what a money grubber looks like. All he cares about is money. And what did you say? I said, can you activate this thing? I can try. Dijou pursed his lips, then suddenly grinned at Yizichin. But you have to pay. Chapter 2399. I've never seen such a money grubber. Yizichin rolled his eyes at Dijou's glowing eyes, then walked outside. You want money? No way. Yizichin didn't know what the transfer formation was for. He'd only mentioned it on a whim. Dijou was quite smart. Just talk about money. Hey, don't be in such a hurry. We can talk about it. Dijou grabbed the shovel and chased after Yizichin. I'm not interested, said Yizichin. Just wait to regret it. Dijou pouted and muttered in disdain. Dijou pursed his lips and muttered in disgust. Actually, I still have some information in my stomach. It's about fire. Oh, I forgot who he is. Yi Zichen's feet sank. He quickly turned around with a frown and looked at the disheveled Di Zhou. You? Just who is it? Yi Zichen had been paying close attention to Di Zhou ever since the flaming lion broke through. He touched the flaming lion. The flaming lion had somehow broken through to the star rank. Then, Di Zhou invited him to stay with him. The territory of a cosmic system level savage beast. Territory. That was the extent of its territory. Savage beasts were very territorial. How was it that they could enter its territory without being attacked? In the following period, Yi Zichen hunted savage beasts around the thatched hut. The flaming lion provoked them countless times, attracting many savage beasts. However, that cosmic system level savage beast wasn't among them. At the time, he'd subconsciously assumed it didn't exist. Then there was the aura in the clock tower. Before entering, Yi Zichen had thought a cosmic system level was watching him. Now, the cosmic system level had been dead for a long time. Judging from the time, it had been at least half a month. Then who could the aura in the clock tower belong to? Di Zhou. Yi Zichen was certain that there was no third living person in the clock tower. Then that aura, the only possibility was Di Zhou, who'd come here earlier. His aura gave off the feeling that his level wasn't low. You're that cosmic system level savage beast, aren't you? Yi Zichen squinted at Di Zhou and waited for his reply. Di Zhou grinned. He tossed the shovel and the cosmic system level corpse onto the ground. Then, white smoke began to rise from his body, causing Yi Zichen to subconsciously take a few steps back in alert, until the smoke dispersed. D armor. Yi Zichen was shocked. There was actually a white dog with a horn on its head standing under the white smoke. Little puppy. It wasn't an exaggeration to say that the puppy was about the size of Yi Zichen's hand. The eyes are blue. That's me. While Yi Zichen was confused, the little puppy nudged Yi Zichen's leg with its horn. You're really smart. You actually found out. I'm that cosmic system state. Get the hell out of here. Even though Yi Zichen was rather shocked that Di Jia had truly transformed into a beast form, he was still able to control it. Yet, he'd shamelessly said he was a star system level cultivator. Yi Zichen really wanted to laugh himself to death. Such a small puppy. One slap could travel 300 meters. I'm really a cosmic system state. You don't believe me? Di Zhou said, and I'm not a beast. I'm an ancient divine beast. I have the bloodline of a divine beast. You said you were a divine beast. So that I can explain? Di Zhou rolled his eyes, then transformed back into his original form. He grabbed the shovel on the ground, then put the cosmic system level on his shoulder. I've seen the glory of a divine beast. Mortal, are you still not going to pay up? Di Zhou reached out his hand and shouted fiercely. Yi Zichen couldn't help but want to laugh when he thought about his puppy appearance. But he was rather cute when he was a puppy. Now that he's human, he keeps talking about money. You're so funny. Yi Zichen shook his head with a smile. Are you trying to scare me? You're telling me that you're a divine beast so openly? Aren't you afraid that I'll catch you as a pet? You don't have that ability, Di Zhou said nonchalantly. Fine. I don't have that ability. I'm an adult. I don't want to argue with a puppy until my face turns red. Let me tell you the truth. Di Zhou suddenly spoke up. Di Zhou suddenly said, Actually, I've been paying attention to you for a very long time. From the first moment I laid eyes on you, I knew that you were definitely a rich man. Ah, no. I meant that you were a trustworthy rich man who could do great things with me. Did you say the wrong line? It seems like you intentionally changed your words because you didn't want to mention rich people. Then, you couldn't help but say what's on your mind in the end? Friend, just how important is money to you? Can't you even hold it in for a single sentence? Our cooperation is truly perfect. You provide the money, I provide the brains. With the two swords working together, we're invincible in the universe. Di Zhou shrugged with a very interesting expression on his face. Yi Zichen stood in front of him and watched him blow his own trumpet. Do you think I'm retarded? Yi Zichen didn't feel like Di Zhou was very smart in terms of brains. He felt like he was a Chinibu who was blinded by money. At least in front of me, Di Zhou, you're still lacking. Dijou raised his eyebrows proudly. Let's talk about the spiritual formation below. Can you fix it? No. The Huissier that you want to catch. Do you know where he is hiding? You know about Huissier? Hey, what don't I know? Dijou opened his eyes wide with disdain. There's nothing in the universe that our race doesn't know. We're hailed as great prophets, great inventors, great. Basically, we're just really vicious. How many people are there in your race? Just me. Dijou raised his thumb proudly. But don't underestimate me. You can see my importance from this. I was raised by the heavens and the earth, and was born from the heavens and earth. My existence is just like, shut up. Oh, Dijou bitterly shut his mouth before he grinned and said, I'm telling you, I can tell that you're not a bad person. I definitely wouldn't have told you all this if you didn't have good intentions. To be honest, let's work together. In the future, we'll be brothers of the opposite sex, even better than real brothers. It's a great life to roam the world. Just ask me what you want to know. We'll just fight wherever we point. I really have to thank you for actually thinking so highly of me. To be honest, Yi Zichen rather liked Dijou's tone and personality. He felt like a Chinibi teenager. Kind of cute. Yi Zichen looked at him, then said, Tell me about Huissier. Tell me about Huissier. Don't you know about it? Then you have to pay. Dijou reached out. If you don't pay, then it'll be hard for me. Chapter 2400. All of a sudden, Yi Zichen didn't know what to say when he saw Dijou reach out his hand for money. Was money that important? Of course, it wasn't that Yi Zichen didn't say that money wasn't important. It was just that he knew that he couldn't do anything without money since he was young. That's right, there's no need for him to do this. They had laid their cards on the table. He also had to combine the two swords to uphold justice. Now that they had spoken to this extent, it was almost as if they were sworn brothers. He still wanted money. Plastic brotherhood. Wasn't his motive a little too strong? Pay up. Dijie gestured at his palm and urged, I'll give you a kick. What do you think? Just as Yi Zichen was about to kick Dijou subconsciously stepped back. What are you doing? It's really hard for me if you don't give me the money. Why do you always want money? Do you think you don't need money to buy information? Didn't you want to combine swords with me? Yes, it's the harmonious twin swords. Dijou nodded seriously. But you still have to give me money. If you don't, I won't know anything. Yi Zichen felt like he was trembling in anger. Impenetrable. No matter what you tell him, the money has to be there. All right, how much do you want? Yi Zichen couldn't be bothered to stoop to the same level as this guy who only cared about money. Huissier's information was very important to him. It would be great if he could buy it from Dijie. He dealt with Huissier. It could be said that he had resolved any future troubles. That's up to you, Dijou said righteously. It depends on how accurate you want the information to be. Damn it. As soon as Dijou finished speaking, Yi Zichen raised his hand viciously. Do you believe I won't beat you up? Why did you hit me? Dijou held the shovel and spoke in an aggressive tone. Don't think that I'm easy to bully. Do you see the shovel in my hand? Do you believe that I won't dig a hole to bury you? In any case, I'm a divine beast, the darling of heaven and earth. I don't have time to argue with you. Yi Zichen felt a bit tired for some reason, so he took out 1,000,000. Is it enough? No matter how much you give me, it will be enough. Dijie took the cosmic coins from Yi Zichen's hands, then closed his eyes. About half a minute later, not quite enough. Are you kidding me? For some reason, Yi Zichen's fist itched uncontrollably as he looked at Dijou's face. He wanted to punch him in the face. He took the money and then said it wasn't enough. Give me back my money. I can't pay it back. Dijou's face was expressionless. If there was any expression on his face, it would be a little self-confident. I really beat you up. Come on. Dijie held the big iron shovel and raised his chin, showing no signs of fear. You. Fine. Yi Zichen pointed at Dijou twice, then directly took out 5,000,000. This should be enough, right? Let's wait and see. Dijie kept the money in his hand and spoke in less than half a minute. Northwest. As he spoke, Dijou stretched out his hand and pointed in the direction he pointed. Yi Zichen stared fixedly at him, then clenched his fist. If you still want your finger, then tell me. This isn't all of your information. I really do want my finger, but I also have to tell you that this is all of my information. Dijo nodded seriously, then forcefully pulled his finger back from Yi Zichen's hand. Dijo nodded seriously, then forcefully pulled his finger back from Yi Zichen's hand. Actually, it's not really everything, right? If you had given me an extra 5 million, I would have been able to give you more details. Give me the money. Yi Zichen couldn't help but shake his head and smile. He's asking for money so directly. I really want to clap for him. I'll give it to you. Yi Zichen took out another 5 million, but this time, Dijo didn't take it. Take it. You have to give me 10 million. That's enough. Yi Zichen was truly annoyed. That's not the way to raise the price. I've already thrown out 6 million star coins as a spy. Although it isn't a lot, do you know how many years it takes for a domain star level to earn that amount? In Blue River Planet, the star level isn't that great. They only earned several tens of thousands of star coins a year. 6 million would take at least 100 years. I'll ask you one more time. Can you give me an accurate answer if I give you 5 million? No. Dijo glared at him. I have a bad temper. Yi Zichen raised his hand. Dijo raised his shovel high into the air. Friend, you can't be that bad, right? Yi Zichen tried his best to persuade him. You said it yourself just now that you can be more detailed if I give you another 5 million. I've already given you enough face, right? That's what I said. That's right. Dijo replied very rationally. But I also said it was just now. Now is now. It's a matter of 2 different times. What are you arguing with me for? You're not giving me a refund? I can't. Dijo frowned, as if Yi Zichen was making things difficult for him. I want to give you a refund, but I can't. All of a sudden, Yi Zichen felt like something was off. He rubbed his chin. Then, he reached out and touched Dijo's body. Where's the money? I used it, Dijo shrugged. I already told you. I can't give you a refund. It's all used up, so how am I supposed to give it to you? F***CK. Yi Zichen opened his eyes wide and subconsciously took 2 steps back. He looked at Dijo, who was frowning. It can't be. In that instant, Yi Zichen thought of a possibility. However, he felt like it was too ridiculous. This friend, he can't be someone who needs money for everything, right? You actually don't know anything about the fire parasite. You're using money to buy it, right? Yi Zichen still said what he was thinking despite finding it unbelievable. Yeah. Unexpectedly, Dijo actually nodded very seriously. I'm using money to buy it. Where else do you think I'm going to do it? Is there a strong wind? You need money for everything in this world. You need money to be alive? Yi Zichen asked. You don't need money? Dijo suddenly seemed to be stunned. He grabbed Yi Zichen's shoulder. You don't need money to be alive? I don't need it. Yi Zichen's voice softened when he saw how excited Dijo was. You don't need money. Dijo seemed to be completely stunned. Then, he knelt in front of Yi Zichen and hugged his leg. Just how did you do it? Please teach me. Yi Zichen looked down at Dijo in shock. Breathing air is enough for me to live. How else am I supposed to live? For what Dijo said, I need money to be alive. How am I supposed to explain this to him? Chapter 24:01. Dijo hugged Yi Zichen's leg and cried. There is actually someone who could live without money. In order to survive all these years, Dijo could be said to have swindled and swindled people. As long as he could earn money, there was nothing he hadn't done. Everything was for survival. Right now, someone actually told him that he could live without money. How did you do it? Why don't you need money to live? Why? Yi Zichen didn't know what to say as he looked at the pitiful Dijo. He subconsciously rubbed his chin twice. Let me ask, are you referring to the daily expenses, or are you talking about deducting the expenses if you are alive? I want money as long as I live. Dijo replied very seriously. He frowned and said, What do you mean by that? Why do I feel like I'm special? About that, he was stunned. There is actually such a strange thing in this world. I'll deduct the fee if I'm alive. Other people lived and breathed, and it was enough to solve the problem of food and clothing. Dijo, according to what he said, as long as he sat here, he would have to deduct his fee. It was just like a point-and-click game. Even if you hung up in the game, your points would still be deducted. Who could withstand this? Big brother, please teach me. I really can't take it anymore. Dijo's eyes were filled with pleading. If there were no surprises, Yi Zichen felt like Dijo was treating him like a god. In his world, Those who were still alive should be the same as him, surviving by deducting their income. When he suddenly met someone like Yi Zichen, who said that he didn't need to pay to live, he was instantly shocked. Yi Zichen really didn't know whether he should tell him the truth or not. He was really a little scared. If he were to say it out loud, would Di Jie feel as if his worldview had collapsed? She looked at his teary eyes. Yi Zichen decided, tell him the truth. Ha. You didn't expect him to be so cruel, right? Di Jie, go ahead, big brother. I have to tell you something. You'd better be mentally prepared. Speak. Both of Di Zhou's ears perked up. He had already made all the preparations and was waiting for the heavenly immortal's golden words. Actually, we don't even need to pay for living. If I'm not wrong, you're the only one in the entire universe who's paying. Rumble. Di Zhou felt as if his ears were filled with rolling thunder. He grabbed Yi Zichen's leg and doubted his ears. Big brother, you're not lying to me, are you? If you don't believe me, Bailey. Yi Zichen called out to Bailey, who stood on his shoulder and looked at Di Zhou pitifully. Yes, I can testify for him. Oh my God. Di Zhou threw his head back and let out a long howl. Then his entire body fell straight to the ground. In less than half a minute, he quietly squatted in the corner. In this world, he was the only one who lived by deducting a fee. No one else lived by deducting a fee. Wasn't he the darling of heaven and earth? Was this how she spoiled him? He was probably born to suffer, right? Did he know how he had survived all these years? Swindling and swindling. Stealing chickens and dogs. In order to earn enough money to keep himself alive, he had done almost everything, good or bad. If it wasn't for the fact that they met Yi Zichen, a rich person, in the past few days, he was thinking of murdering her for money. There was no other way in order to live. This guy is so pitiful, Bailey muttered as he stood on Yi Zichen's shoulder. It's quite pitiful. Yi Zichen nodded silently. Have you heard of this divine beast? Does it exist in the first universe? No, Bailey answered without even thinking. If there is such a divine beast, then it should be very easy for people to find out about it. It has such a special attribute, so anyone who knows about it can't forget it even if they wanted to. However, in my memories, including the inherited memories of the entire machine race, there is no such divine beast. Do you think it could have suddenly died because it didn't pay up one day? Yi Zichen asked. It's not impossible, Bailey replied. The two of them silently looked at Di Zhou, who was drawing circles in the corner. Yi Zichen believed that telling him the truth would definitely be a huge blow to him. Di Zhou let out a long sigh. Yi Zichen walked up to comfort him. Hey, Di Zhou, who was squatting in the corner, laughed weirdly. Yi Zichen squinted his eyes and looked towards him. He couldn't have caused a child to go crazy, right? Di Zhou? Di Zhou turned around. Only then did Yi Zichen see that he wasn't crying at all. There were no tears in his eyes, nor did he feel like his world had collapsed. From his eyes, Yi Zichen saw even the slightest bit of excitement. Are you all right? Of course I'm all right. Very well. Di Zhou put his hands on his hips. I understand everything now. I truly am favored by the heavens. It's precisely because I'm special that they use this method to train me. You really are a happy-go-lucky person, Yi Zichen smiled. Ha. I'm the only one living in the entire world. I'm just that alone. Di Zhou shook his head. From the looks of it, he seemed to be a little pleased with himself over this matter. Was he very pleased with himself? His personality was too reasonable. It was only because of his personality that he could survive such terrible circumstances. If it was anyone else, AI, wait a moment. You'll be deducted as long as you're alive, right? Yeah. Then where did you get the money when you were born? I brought it with me, Di Zhou shrugged. I brought 3 million universe coins with me when I was born. 3 million? Universe coins? That was definitely not a small amount. Yi Zichen looked at the disheveled Di Zhou. He was also wearing tattered clothes. Where's the money? Of course it's all gone. Di Zhou twitched his mouth. How is 3 million enough for me? Every day I live, I get deducted. How much? 20,000 star coins. I'm telling you, it was 300 when I was at the domain level and 1,000 when I was at the star level. Now, it's 20,000 when I'm at the nebula level, Di Zhou frowned. Don't you think that's infuriating? 20,000 star coins, 20,000. Fortunately, there are plenty of fatties in this town. I'll trick them and they'll give me money. 20,000 star coins was equivalent to 2 galaxy coins, which was equal to 2 10,000ths of universe coins. 3 million divided by 2 10,000ths. That was enough for him to live for over 100 million years. You've lived for a few 100 million years? Nonsense, I'm only 13. Dijo rolled his eyes suspiciously. Do I look like an old man who has lived for hundreds of millions of years? I'm still very young and inexperienced. Then where's your money? He'd lived for over 10 years. No matter how much he deducted, it shouldn't have been this bad, right? Hey, it's all my fault for being young, Dijo sighed. When I was born, I didn't know anything. I just took the money to level up and spent it all. You used money to level up? You can use money to level up? Yi Zichen glared. That's right. Dijo nodded vigorously. What? Don't you need to spend money to level up? Chapter 24:02. The vast universe was full of wonders. Use money to live. Use money to level up. This dear friend had truly opened the door to a whole new world for Yi Zichen. There was actually such a strange thing in the world. Do you know? He glanced at Bailey. Little did he know that Bailey was also dumbfounded. Never heard of it. Are you telling the truth? After a brief moment of shock, Yi Zichen looked at Dijia. He was now very suspicious of the veracity of Dijo's words. If that was the case, as long as he cooperated with a rich person like the Virtual World Organization or the Universe United Bank, he would be able to become an overlord. Others were improving their strength. What was needed was the accumulation of time, long periods of cultivation, and countless opportunities, together with heavenly materials and earthly treasures. Only in this way could their strength rise to the next level. Dijia. All he had to do was spend money. Dijo never lie. Dijia thumped his chest loudly. Aren't you guys the same? When I was in town, I also heard many people saying that they needed money to break through. It's not the same. Yi Zichen sighed. Others would need to purchase the necessary resources to break through. Of course, it would not be a small expense. Hey, look, how about this? Suddenly, Dijia threw the cosmic system state off and grinned. You don't need to doubt it. Give me money, and I will level up for you to see. Now, I'll release my aura and let you feel it. Diluo's cosmic system state chi was released. Deliberately releasing one's aura to let others feel, it would allow them to accurately sense the other party's strength. Galaxy Level 1. Who would have thought that Dijo was telling the truth? He really was at the nebula level. However, thinking of his puppy appearance, it was really hard to associate him with a nebula-level divine beast. Did you feel it? After releasing his aura for a short while, Dijia retracted his aura. Yi Zichen nodded. Give me 3 million cosmic dollars, and I'll help you break through to the second level right now, Dijo said. What the hell? Asking for 3 million galactic dollars right off the bat. Was this something a human would say? Yi Zichen stared at Dijo for a long time, then took out 3 million universe credits after a brief hesitation. Fortunately, Yao Hua gave him 5 million. Otherwise, even if it was him, it would be very difficult for him to take out the 3 million universe credits here. Actually, Yi Zichen's thoughts were very simple. Let's just give it a try. If he brought this cosmic system state out, Yao Hua would give him another 15 million. 3 million to satisfy my curiosity. Dijia's eyes lit up when he saw Yi Zichen take out the money. I knew it. Dijo pointed at Yi Zichen and nodded. From the moment he'd laid eyes on Yi Zichen, he'd felt that he was absolutely a fool with a lot of money. Now, he'd taken out 3 million cosmic dollars just like that. It was obvious that this person was rich and overbearing. He could also feel that this person's brain wasn't working well. So much money. He took it out without thinking. This was the kind of person to work with. He was rich and generous. Wait a minute. Just as Dijo reached out, Yi Zichen suddenly retracted his hand. If you haven't broken through, that's impossible. Dijo vowed solemnly. I've calculated everything clearly. This money is definitely enough for me to break through. Just watch. If I don't break through, then you don't have to do anything. I'll dig a hole for myself. Here, Yi Zichen placed the money in Dizhou's hands. Dizhou, who had just received the money, was almost drooling as he stared at the large sum of money in front of him. Ever since he was young, he'd only seen so much money when he was just born. Due to one wrong attempt, his subsequent life became much more difficult. Finally, his difficult days were over. By following this rich man, he'd be able to rise rapidly. Yi Zichen also stared at him silently with his right hand still on the scimitar by his waist. If Dizhou dared to run away with the money, execute him on the spot. To be honest, when Dizhou received the money, he really did have that thought. However, he quickly gave up on it. From his perspective, if he stayed by Yi Zichen's side, then he'd be able to obtain far more than 3 million. I'm going to start. Following Dizhou's words, Yi Zichen saw Dizhou suddenly lowered his head. He swallowed all of the universe coins in front of him. Swallowed money? As Yi Zichen watched on in shock, Bailey even turned on the recording function. Not to mention Yi Zichen, even Bailey, who possessed the memories of the entire machine race, didn't know such a divine beast existed. In the machinery race, they had a relatively complete record of the divine beasts. Unfortunately, countless generations of inheritances, yet none of them had anything to do with a divine beast like Dizhou. Approximately half a minute later, Yi Zichen and Bailey looked silently at Dizhou and waited for what would happen after he swallowed the universe coins. Then they saw Dizhou wipe his mouth. "What are you doing? It's over." Dizhou shrugged, then licked his lips with a smile. "Huh, it's over?" Yi Zichen swore that he didn't miss a single detail. He just watched Dizhou swallow the money. "Watch if you don't believe me." Dizhou pursed his lips and shrugged, then released a powerful aura from his body. Level 2 of the galaxy. This guy really broke through. Yi Zichen was so shocked that he couldn't speak for a long time. He could only stare at Dizhou, who was grinning like an idiot. Oh my god, it ended so easily. Instant promotion. There was no need for progress bar or waiting time. Pardon me for asking, but if I give you enough money, can you directly reach the Overlord level right now? Yi Zichen asked. Overlord. Dizhou's mouth formed an O shape, while his eyes were filled with anticipation. You can make me become an Overlord? Oh my god, you're so rich. Can I? Of course I can. Dizhou replied urgently. Don't say Overlord. As long as you give me money, I can even break through to the Overlord level. F***CK. Yi Zichen couldn't help but curse after hearing all this from Dizhou. It really works. He was just asking, but he didn't think that there were really no restrictions. You can do it just by spending money? Then all of his plans from before are valid. All I have to do is hand it over to the Virtual Realm Corporation or the Universe Union Bank. Overlord, it works. Dizhou was a stable investment. As long as you gave him enough money, he would be able to give you a corresponding return. According to what Dizhou just said, he could also buy information with credit. Any information could be bought with enough credit. Such a bug-level divine beast. As expected of the favored child of the heavens. Yi Zichen cupped his fist towards Dizhou in shock. In terms of credit, I, Yi Zichen, am willing to call you, Dizhou, the strongest. From now onwards, I bestow upon you a gold devouring. Chapter 2403. Metal Devouring Beast. Eating gold as food was very appropriate. Yi Zichen couldn't help but walk up and pinch Dizhou's cheeks after personally witnessing Dizhou's rise. What are you doing? Dizhou reached out to hit Yi Zichen, but retracted his hand halfway. He didn't push Yi Zichen away. He even signaled Yi Zichen to increase his strength. Not for anything else, just for the pile of shiny gold coins in front of him. Here, it's for you. Yi Zichen pushed the pile of money in front of Dizhou, then crossed his arms and watched as Dizhou carefully put the money away. Just follow me from now on, got it? Yi Zichen looked at Dizhou. I don't dare to say anything else, but following me will definitely be better than what you're doing now. Of course. Dizhou nodded. Let's work together and help the weak. Of course. Dizhou nodded with tears brimming in his eyes. So many years. He had finally found a rich man. No matter what, Dizhou couldn't give it to anyone else. If anyone else found out about this divine beast with stable returns, they would definitely be more competitive than the elemental fairies. Overlord level. Was it something that could be measured by wealth? Anyone in the universe would definitely say no if they asked this question. To become an overlord, a sovereign, talent, opportunity, and hard work were all necessary, and it also required countless years. Money. At their level, they no longer had any concept of money. How could money be used to measure overlord? However, Dijo could prove it with reality. Overlord. That could be measured with money. As long as you gave him money, he would dare to break through and become an overlord. Don't even mention shackles. Talent. Stand to the side. You can become stronger by spending money. It was that simple. Tell me if you need money. Big bro, I have plenty of money. Yi Zichen patted his chest confidently. He had already decided to use his wealth to groom Dijo. After interacting with Dijo for so long. Apart from being a money grubber, Yi Zichen didn't feel like Dijo had any bad intentions. This kind of character was more trustworthy. Really? Dijo's eyes lit up, then crossed his arms in front of his chest. I want 20 million right now to break through to the universe level. Yi Zichen's smile instantly froze. Asking for 20 million right off the bat. If he wanted to break through to the universe level, he believed that the unit after that would be universe dollars. High investment, high return. It was true that Dijia's passive abilities were pretty good, but Yi Zichen was suddenly enlightened by what he just said. This kind of Corium Gold Divine beast. If he didn't have some ability, he really couldn't afford to nurture him. Dijia, I'm here. Dijo blinked and walked over, a smile in his eyes. We're not in a hurry to break through to the universe level. Yi Zichen comforted with a smile. You've just broken through to the star system level, so your foundation isn't stable yet. If you're too anxious to break through, it will affect your future breakthroughs. I won't. Dijo shook his head innocently, a smile lingering on his face. I don't need a foundation. I also have an unstable foundation. Give me money and I'll be able to break through. That's impossible, Yi Zichen advised patiently. You have to build a good foundation. There's really no need for that. If I say use it, use it. Suddenly, Yi Zichen glared and shouted. Dijo, who was still arguing, pursed his lips, coughed twice, and muttered. If you don't have money, just say that you don't have money. Don't mention the foundation. TSK, what did you say? Yi Zichen frowned. I said Big Bro is right. Dijo saluted seriously. Yi Zichen knocked him on the head. Do you really think I'm deaf? With that, Yi Zichen took out 1,500 star coins. He took out the money. Dijo's face instantly lit up with a smile. I'll give you 5 million and 10 million. Go find Hua Xie's location for me. No problem. Dijo nodded seriously, then took the money. Half a minute later, found it. Dijo suddenly spoke up. Yi Zichen was shocked. That really is a godly technique. As long as I get more wealth in the future and give it to Dijo, then wouldn't I become omniscient and omniscient? Speak. 3,000 miles to the northwest. Dijo placed his finger between his eyebrows and squinted his eyes, as if he could see Hua Xie through the distance of several thousand miles. He's currently doing what? Yi Zichen couldn't help but ask. I don't have enough money, so I'll stop here. Dijo scratched his head with a silly smile. Yi Zichen couldn't help but let out a long sigh and lean against the clock tower's fence. He had spent 10 million star coins just to listen to information that lasted less than 2 seconds. Are you sure you found the Hua Xie I'm looking for? He should be. I can describe him to you, said Dijo. An old man with flames on his head, a flaming skull on his chest, a hooked nose, and protruding cheekbones. He doesn't look like a good person at all. That's right, it's him. Yi Zichen hadn't expected Dijo to be so accurate. You have to believe me. When we came in, you gave me 5 million, and I used it all on you. I sensed the person you were looking for, so I went to search for information. Naturally, I was looking for him. Dijo smiled. You actually counted me in? Yi Zichen smiled at Dijo, then glanced southwest. 3,000 miles away. That was already beyond the range of this region. That meant Hua Xie was currently in a higher-level residential area. The fact that Dijo could find him meant that he was still alive. Show me how strong Hua Xie is. As soon as Yi Zichen finished, Dijo reached out. Yi Zichen couldn't help but let out a long sigh, then took out 1 million cosmic credits and handed it to Dijou. Don't. He's in the 6th layer of a universe. He's on the verge of breaking through to the 7th layer. Based on his current rate of absorbing elemental energy, he'll need about 2 years, 3 months, 12 days, 11 hours, 17 minutes, and 6 seconds to break through. His control over the fire element is high, and if his strength is converted to that of a normal human's, he's roughly the same as a peak 9th layer human, a half-step warlord. Dijou listed a pile of data almost instantly. The data was so detailed that Yi Zichen felt despair. He turned to look at Dijou, clenched his fists, and gnashed his teeth. Don't tell me you used $1 million to buy this information. That's right. I used the money you gave me to buy it. What? Do you really think I'm going to stuff my own pockets? Dijou, have never been the kind of person to play tricks. I'll use however much you give me. I definitely won't hide anything. Who told you to act so quickly? Who told you to? Yi Zichen felt like he was about to go crazy. He gave Dijou that money because he wanted to save it with him. It was because he felt like it was too troublesome to keep giving him money. This guy, he actually used 1 million cosmic credits to buy information on Huixie's level. All of a sudden, Yi Zichen leaped onto Dijou and dug into his mouth. Spit out the money and give me back my hard-earned money. Chapter 2404. They sat looking at each other. Yi Zichen and Dijou sat on the ground. Some bruises could be seen on his face. A bloodbath triggered by 1 million. In the end, both sides fought to a draw. Since no one could do anything to the other, they sat down to discuss. To be honest, Yi Zichen was rather shocked by the draw. How powerful was he? 9-star stage, instant kill. He had the hollow body set and a genetic breakthrough. Under such circumstances, he actually fought to a draw with Dijou. What's that shovel in your hand? Yi Zichen pointed at the shovel in his hand. The shovel was actually able to break through the defenses of the hollow mine. Even though the shovel's impact was greatly reduced, it still landed on Yi Zichen's body. This made him feel incredulous. His hollow or set was not as powerful as Dijia's when he fought against a warlord-level opponent the last time. What are you wearing? Dijia also pointed at Yi Zichen's cloak. His shovel, it was a god-given weapon. It had been with him since he was born. In his memory, this shovel was called the Golden Shovel. The shovel went down. There was nothing that his shovel could not pierce. Just now, he pushed the shovel against Yi Zichen's body, but the cloak hadn't shattered. He had met his match. Yi Zichen and Dijou couldn't help but mutter to themselves. The battle between the two of them was not just limited to equipment. There was also the contest of their physical strength. What surprised Zichen was that Dijia's body was also very strong, even though he only broke through by absorbing metal. It was the same for Dijou. Of all the humans he'd encountered, none were as ridiculous as Yi Zichen. Yi Zichen was even taller than a vicious beast. Shake hands and make up. Dijou hesitated for a moment, then reached out his hand. Yi Zichen glanced at him and shook his hand as well. About half an hour later, both of them sat on the ground, recovering from their injuries. In truth, Yi Zichen was fine. He could just absorb cosmic energy. Dijia was feeling the pinch. He had to spend money to treat his injuries. I'm telling you, you really can't blame me for this. During the healing process, Dijou narrowed his eyes and said, "You didn't tell me clearly that these are for future use. I'll take it that you want to be more precise. That's the truth. My information is accurate enough, right? Who would have thought that your hands would be so fast? This 1 million universe credits could actually be regarded as a waste." Yi Zichen didn't think that the details of Huixie's strength would cost 1 million universe credits. No matter how detailed he was, it definitely wasn't worth that much money. But he couldn't say anything now. Dijou's purchase of information was a one-time deal. Once he paid for it, he would buy it. Not enough is not enough. Fortunately, he had memorized all of Huixie's information. Universe 6 levels. She didn't expect this salted fish monster to be a universe-level fighter. When White Phoenix met him, he was only a star-level fighter. When he was in town, he was also a salted fish. And now he was already at the universe level. This 1 million is for you. Yi Zichen hesitated for a moment, then took out another 1 million from his backpack. Remember, use it sparingly. Don't worry. Dijou was easy to please. As long as he was given money, he would be happy. If you have any questions, just ask me. I, Dijo, am omniscient and omniscient, as long as you give me money. Forget it. I don't need it for the time being. Given Yi Zichen's current strength, he wouldn't be able to fight Huixie in a short amount of time. What's more, given Huixie's abilities, there was no way he was alone. Based on what had happened in the village, it was very likely that he'd already controlled a large number of subordinates. Yi Zichen was only a star-level fighter. He couldn't always rely on his hollow body set to feel that anyone below the universe level was no threat to him. Increasing his strength was the most important thing. Disregarding everything else, just now, when he fought Dijo, his hollow body set wasn't completely invincible. Just now, I checked the formation below, Dijo suddenly said. This formation is an interstellar transfer formation. It can be used to travel between the stars and connect to other regions. If you want to find Huixie, you can go through it. I've learned how to activate it. All you need to do is say the word. Yi Zichen tilted his head and frowned. Did I ask you to check it? I'm just curious. Besides, it'll be useful later on, said Dijo. How much? Not too much, just 150,000. That's good. If that was all, he could accept it. Universe dollars. King stop right there. Dijo grabbed his shovel and dashed out, while Yi Zichen chased after him as if his life depended on it. Wastrel. Did Dijo really think money was easy to earn? Or did he think Yi Zichen's money fell from the sky? 150,000 universe dollars. He used it just like that. While the two of them were causing a ruckus in the clock tower, the Liu family clansmen gathered in front of the clock tower. There were at least 1,000 people surrounding them. They were all from the other clans in town. There was an explosion on the side of the Liu clan, and the loud noise covered the entire town. Almost instantly, all the great clans sent people to investigate. When they learned that the Liu family had been destroyed, the other clans all hurried over. For no other reason. They wanted to share the spoils. They wanted to see if everything was as the report said, and if the Liu family was really going to reclaim the position of mayor and eliminate the former Liu family. There was one more piece of news. Were the cosmic system states of the Liu family really no longer in this town? Because from start to finish, no one had ever seen a cosmic system level appear. Previously, the Liu family didn't plunder resources from the town because they had a cosmic system level. The mines and gardens that once belonged to the great clans, they were all taken by the Liu family. Due to the cosmic system level, they didn't dare to say anything. Now that they were here, if they confirmed that the cosmic system level wasn't here, they were going to take back what once belonged to them. Elder Liu, we acknowledge your return to the town. You have been ruling the town all this time. We are willing to trust you. However, we just want to take back what originally belonged to us. This isn't too much, right? Not too much. Yao Hua squinted her eyes. Do you really think we're stupid? Do you think I don't know how much the mines and herb gardens that your clans, once occupied, could produce in the past few years? The amount you want now is several times more than what could have been produced. Why should we give it to you? What's more, the Liu family stole from you. Go get it from them. But the Liu family is gone now, said a bulky man. The one who spoke was a man with a strong physique. Don't be fooled by his ferocious face. His strength was just like his appearance, star body level 8. He was a rare expert in the town. Even Elder Liu might not be a match for him. If you want to replace them, then you have to take responsibility. Chapter 2405. A man who is never content is like a snake trying to swallow an elephant. Even Liu Shuiheng, who had already withdrawn from the family, stood out in the face of these greedy demands. He squinted at the people in front of him. They were all familiar faces. Over the past 5 years, not much had changed in the town. Coach Liu. The patriarchs of the other clans also laughed. Coach Liu left the Liu clan and caused a huge commotion. I didn't expect him to still be with the Liu clan. What does our clan's business have to do with you? Yao Hua shouted angrily. Yes. It has nothing to do with us. The muscular man smiled. He was Zheng Anbong, the clan leader of the Zheng clan. Among the clans in the town, excluding the former Liu clan, which had been destroyed, the Zheng clan was considered the most powerful clan among the few clans. Not only was the clan strong, but he was also strong. 8th grade star. He was one of the most outstanding geniuses in Lu Shuiheng's generation. The reason why these clans dared to make such a request to the Lu clan when old Lu was still alive was because of Zheng Onbong. They were going to fight. He could definitely hold old Lu back. As long as old Lu couldn't fight, there was nothing to fear from the Lu clan. We're not interested in the Lu clan's business, but what did Coach Lu mean? Why do I feel like I don't understand? A man who is never content is like a snake trying to swallow an elephant. Do you think we're too greedy? As they spoke, the clan leaders of the other clans walked up to the front. The aura of the weakest 8th grade star immediately pressed down on Lu Shuiheng's group. The Lu clan members frowned. Purely oppressing them with his aura, this could already be considered a threat to their strength. We're actually asking for very little. We're not that greedy compared to the Lu clan's entire resource reserve. Zheng Onbong grinned and looked at the Lu clan members. Moreover, you've been chased out of the town for so long. You should give us some greeting gifts now that you're back, right? You. Yao Hua was furious. We're actually very polite to you. At least we're still willing to let you be the mayor. Right now, I'm just dissatisfied with the future distribution of resources in the town. I hope we can discuss it. Is there a problem? Zheng Onbong said. Stop dreaming. We will never agree with you. Yao Hua lightly snorted. Are you sure? Suddenly, Zheng Onbong looked at Lu Shuiheng. Coach Lu, what do you think? Why are you asking me? Lu Shuiheng's eyes were piercingly cold. Let's not talk about whether or not I'm a member of the Lu family. Even if I am, do you think I'll agree to it? But your daughter might agree. At this moment, Zheng Onbong waved his hand. The crowd outside instantly made way for Lu Tianyin. Lu Tianyin was tied up tightly, and the person who caught him was Song Hai, the youth adopted by Lu Shuiheng. Tianyin, Lu Shuiheng shouted, but when he saw Song Hai beside her, Song Hai looked at Lu Shuiheng expressionlessly. Without any response, he grabbed Lu Tianyin and went to Zheng Onbong's side. Godfather. The word godfather made Lu Shuiheng understand everything. Zheng Onbong. If you have any problem, come to me. Lu Shuiheng gritted his teeth and shouted. Zheng Onbong just looked at him with a smile. I don't have any problem. I just hope your Lu family can consider it carefully. Go to hell. As soon as he finished his words, Lu Shuiheng rushed out. Dong. On the way, Lu Shuiheng's neck was grabbed by Zheng Onbong, and he was heavily thrown out. Second brother. Yao Hua hurried to catch up. Lu Shuiheng, who was thrown on the ground, had blood dripping from his mouth. His eyes were filled with unwillingness as he looked at Zheng Onbong. Lu Shuiheng, do you still think you're the same as before? The current you, don't talk about me. In our generation, who can defeat you? Damn it. Lu Shuiheng clenched his fist. Suddenly, old Lu, who was standing behind in silence, suddenly laughed. Regretting. Reap what you sow. If you didn't fight for a moment and waste your power, how could Zheng Onbong have the chance to be arrogant in front of you? How could your wife die? Old Lu's low voice fell into Lu Shuiheng's ears, making him instantly clench his fist. That's right. In the past, he was so famous in the town. 9 astral bodies. 2 peaks in the Lu family. Just a few years ago, Lu Shuiheng wasted his power, causing his strength to drop greatly. He even fell below the domain stage. You always blame me. When can you think about yourself? Old Lu sighed. Being impulsive is your biggest weakness. Even now, you still haven't changed, or rather, you have never felt it. Just now, you still thought about going forward yourself. Have you ever thought about me standing here? Have you ever thought about the entire Lu family standing here? Your individualism will harm you. Old Lu never said these words to Lu Shuiheng. From his point of view, he could still wait for Lu Shuiheng to realize it himself. A few days ago, Lu Shuiheng went to find him and mentioned by his death. He thought that Lu Shuiheng would be a little more mature, but when Yao Hua told him about Lu family's matter, he felt disappointed at that moment. This kind of disappointment made him too lazy to lecture Lu Shuiheng anymore. He silently walked forward. Old Lu looked at the tied-up unconscious girl in front of him. Tianyin, she's just as cute as in the video. Old Lu, we agree. Old Lu chuckled. We'll do as you say. I have no objections. Dad, give Tianyin, boom. At that moment, the bell tower's front door was suddenly smashed open. Dijie grabbed the shovel and chased after Yi Zichen with clenched teeth, while carrying the corpse of the star system level expert on his shoulder. The moment they came out, everyone around them was dumbfounded. After running for several tens of meters, Dijie and Yi Zichen were also shocked. The future. Yaohua hurried over. Several hours ago, Yi Zichen suddenly disappeared, and none of them knew where he went. After that, the other families in the town hurried over. Where did you go? I want to kill him. Yi Zichen glared, then pointed at the star system level corpse on Dijie's shoulder. Dijie also threw it down. He picked up the shovel and started to dig a hole. What are you doing? Yi Zichen pulled Dijie back. Old Lu's pupils contracted when he saw the corpse on the ground. Star system level. It's him. Yi Zichen felt that the atmosphere wasn't right. Yi Zichen subconsciously looked in front of him and saw the bound Lu Tianyin. What's going on? Yi Zichen twisted his neck, then walked up to Zheng Anbang. What are you grabbing her for? Let her go. Chapter 2406. Then, Yi Zichen walked over. Song Hai quickly lowered his head. Even so, Yi Zichen still saw him, standing beside Zheng Anbang. Why aren't you tied up? Don't tell me that you kidnapped Lu Tianyin. It's definitely him. Dijie walked over with a shovel. His gaze towards Song Hai was filled with disdain. This guy is the one with the most evil thoughts. I'm telling you, he's truly evil to the point of smoking. Is that so? Yi Zichen couldn't help but smile when he saw Dijie point at Song Hai. However, his impression of Song Hai was rather bad. Ever since Song Hai wanted to be his disciple, he felt that Song Hai was too scheming. You're really something. Yi Zichen pointed at Song Hai, then looked up at Zheng Anbang, who was over 2 meters tall. Hurry up and let her go. Are you deaf? Can't you hear me? Who are you? Zheng Anbang squinted his eyes and frowned. He didn't know the Lu family's star system level expert. Or rather, the only people in town who had truly seen him were Elder Lu and Lu Tianlong. The others had never truly seen him before. They had only felt the pressure of a star system level expert. After spreading the rumor, the entire town, including the neighboring towns, knew about it. If Zheng Anbang knew that the corpse just now was a star system level corpse, he wouldn't dare to speak to Yi Zichen like that, even if he had 8 million guts. Who are you? Hurry up and let go of Lu Tianyin. Also, that Song Hai, hurry up and come out. Don't make me do anything, okay? Zheng family head, Zheng Anbang, said Zheng Anbang. Fine, I got it. Let her go. Yi Zichen couldn't be bothered to waste his breath on him. He turned towards Yaohua. What do these people come for? Yaohua, who was already filled with grievances, quickly ran up when Yi Zichen asked and told him everything that happened outside. In the end, she even pointed at the family heads. They're too much of a bully. Yes, he is quite a bully. Yi Zichen nodded. But your family is pretty rich. No, the Lu family is pretty rich. I took care of the Lu family, right? Shouldn't you show me some respect? Dijie's eyes also shone brightly. Rich? It meant that he was rich. He loved money the most. If Boss could get a share of the money, with their relationship, he would definitely be able to get a lot of benefits. Divide. Yaohua didn't hesitate at all. She would rather give everything to Yi Zichen than to Zheng Anbang and company. Giving it to Yi Zichen would at least allow their family to make friends with a strong expert. But giving it to Zheng Anbang and company, all they would get were ungrateful scum. When Lu Jia was the mayor of the town, which of these families hadn't received favors from the Lu family? But now, it was all for a small profit. All of them had come to find trouble with their family. You're a great friend. Looking at Yaohua and nodding her head in satisfaction, some of the patriarchs from the other clans laughed out loud. Haha, this is really funny. Your Lu family is counting on this little guy to get revenge for you? Seriously? After leaving town for a few years, your family has already fallen to this state? Yi Zichen, who had his back to them, instantly frowned. He turned around and glanced at the clan leader, who was laughing maniacally. Which family are you from? Phone. All right, get your family a new patriarch. Yi Zichen took out the scimitar from his waist, swung it, and sheathed it in one go. Not even half a second passed. Everyone saw a flash of light, and the laughing clansmen fell to the ground. All of a sudden, everyone fell silent. Even Yao Hua and company couldn't help but be shocked when they saw Yi Zichen's strength. That is 7th level star body expert. He died just like that. The Feng family had the most interesting expressions on their faces. Their patriarch died for no reason. Di Jie carried the shovel and went to dig a hole. In less than 2 minutes, Di Jie threw the Feng family patriarch into the hole and buried him. You want to collect his corpse? That's impossible. Who was laughing just now? The moment Yi Zichen said that, the 5 family heads and clansmen all lowered their heads. None of them dared to smile at all. Their mouths were flat, and they didn't even dare to move. I remember now, and Yi Zichen pointed at one of the family heads, walked up, and grabbed his hair. Who are you? I didn't laugh. I really didn't laugh. You did? Di Jie had already started digging the hole as Yi Zichen spoke. When he saw Di Jie's actions, the family head shook his head. I really didn't laugh. Then do you want ores and herbs? Do you want money? No, no, no. Di Jie twisted his neck and took a few steps back. He had already dug a hole, and when he saw that no one was dead, he tilted his head in confusion. Dig a few more. With that, Yi Zichen looked towards the family heads. Even Zheng Anbong was no longer as arrogant as before. Instead, he clutched his clothes nervously. You blockhead, hurry up and release them. What are you thinking? Release. Zheng Anbong quickly untied Lu Tianyin and grabbed Songhai's clothes. My lord, he kidnapped Miss Tianyin. Give it to me. Yi Zichen hugged Lu Tianyin, then squinted his eyes at Songhai. Songhai seemed to want to beg for mercy. Shoo, Di Jie, bury him. Yi Zichen slapped Songhai away, causing him to fall right into the hole Di Jie had already dug. Zheng Anbong stood in front of Yi Zichen with his head lowered. Do you want more ores? I don't. Zheng Anbong shook his head. Wouldn't he be an idiot if he still wanted more at a time like this? Do you guys still want more? Yi Zichen looked up at the other family heads, and without exception, they all shook their heads. This was the absolute suppression brought about by absolute strength. The moment Yi Zichen insta-killed the Feng family head, the other families all knew that the Lu family was no more. However, the Lu family star system level had arrived. Very good. I'm so happy that you guys don't want more. It's just a pity. I'm a very greedy person. If you guys don't want more, I do. With that, Yi Zichen kicked Zheng Anbong onto the ground, then turned around and sat on his back as he looked at the 5 clansmen of the allied families. Now, I'll give you 10 minutes to notify your friends and family. Use money to redeem yourselves. 5 million each. Double after 10 minutes, double after 20 minutes, and so on. I'll give you 2 hours at most. If no one comes to redeem you after 2 hours, do you see that hole? You guys can stay here and live your lives. Chapter 2407. You can go now. You can go too. At least you know what's good for you. You can go now. Yi Zichen sat on Zheng Anbong's back in the former Lu family's territory, a dark gold-grade sword stabbed into the ground by his feet. In front of him, countless clansmen and elders of various clans, who were as silent as cicadas in winter, invited many people who had come to redeem their freedom through the summoning of friends' magic. What? Didn't they have money? Of course not. Who were they? Captives. Everything a captive had naturally belonged to Yi Zichen. Dizhou had plucked them clean, leaving them with nothing but a pair of shorts. Of course, the female friends can still leave their clothes intact. Moreover, their body search is also done by Yao Hua. Less than 2 hours later, the 5 clans had all been redeemed. The only ones left were the heads of the 4 clans, as well as the unlucky Feng family elder who'd already died. What do you think? You pretty much thought it through, right? Yi Zichen twisted his neck and stood up from Zheng Anbong's lap, then grabbed the sword and kicked up some dirt. Zheng Anbong looked tentatively at Yi Zichen. After confirming that Yi Zichen could stand up, he silently stood up and stood to the side. When he'd arrived, he'd been extremely domineering. Now, he didn't even dare breathe too loudly. The people standing in front of Yi Zichen all looked much older than him, yet they all stood before him like obedient children, their heads lowered. Senior. Yi Zichen narrowed his eyes. The one who'd spoken was the head of the Wei family, Wei Yuan. 7th star level. Standing beside him were two clan elders, as well as the white-haired former head of the 9th star level family. Just one look. Everyone, including the 9th level Star Body clan leader, swallowed involuntarily. They knew very well that this senior wasn't easy to talk to. In just an hour, quite a few people had died. They'd all wanted to sneak away. Yi Zichen naturally wouldn't let them off the hook. He'd let them escape. What would he do about the others? Senior, please don't be angry, Wei Yuan hurriedly explained. In truth, he hadn't said much. All he'd done was respectfully call Yi Zichen Senior. If you have something to say it. Yi Zichen scratched his face and looked at the whole Dezhou Dug. Such a gaze instantly made everyone in front of him feel as if they had fallen into an ice cave. Their bodies couldn't help but tremble. Senior, you want to say, huh? Our Wei family has no objections. When he saw Yi Zichen's unfriendly expression, Wei Yuan instantly corrected himself. Originally, he wanted to see if they could negotiate. Yi Zichen's request was rather harsh, but when they saw Yi Zichen's expression, they didn't dare to bargain. 2 million universe dollars as tribute every year. The clan had to pay 20% of the profits from the mining and herb gardens to the Liu family. All the projects within the family were handed over to the Liu family for review. Under such conditions, they could no longer be considered as vassals. In fact, they were not much different from slaves. Fortunately, they were still free on the surface. Only the upper echelons of the family knew how sad they were. Very good. Yi Zichen nodded in satisfaction at Wei Yuan. In truth, Yao Hua was the one who'd suggested the amount of tributes to be paid. Yi Zichen didn't think too much about it. Let's just do as she thinks. You can leave now. Yes. Don't even think about resisting. If you don't behave, then I'll wipe out your entire family. Got it? Got it. You're actually losing out on following you. Suddenly, Yi Zichen squinted his eyes and smiled at them. The others smiled as well. No matter how unwilling they were, they didn't dare show it. Not losing out. In the future, they have to split their income from household chores and pay tribute. Wasn't that a loss? What you have now is this town. In the future, if you follow me, this entire area will be yours. Do you understand? With that, the expressions of the many family heads in front of them changed drastically. Even Yao Hua and the others widened their eyes. What Yi Zichen meant just now. Was he going to attack the other towns? Senior, you mean? Don't ask. Just remember to follow me. I definitely won't let you lose out. Yi Zichen squinted his eyes and smiled. Be my subordinates sincerely. I will never let my own people suffer. Understood. Wei Yuan's eyes flashed with joy. If they really could expand into other towns, this was a completely acceptable price. Not to mention losing out, they'd make a killing. Senior, from now on, the Wei family will follow your lead. We'll do whatever you want us to do, said Wei Yuan seriously. The way he saw it, Yi Zichen absolutely had that kind of strength. The Liu family's position in Yi Zichen's hands was unshakable, but the other families were different. The Wei family pledged their loyalty in advance. Once they conquered the other towns in the future, Yi Zichen might even give the Wei family some more resources for their sake. Not bad. Let's go. Yi Zichen naturally saw through Wei Yuan's intentions. He didn't dislike this sort of loyalty. They nodded and bowed as they left. Yi Zichen looked at the other family heads. Do you have any problems? No. Go on then. He waved his hand, and they hurried away as if they'd been pardoned. As he watched them leave, Yi Zichen cracked his neck and looked at Dijie. What do you think? Boss, Dijie, am determined to follow you. Dijie was beyond excited. He was the one who collected the ransom money just now. In just a bit more than an hour, he collected nearly 20 million galactic dollars. From the looks of it, compared to Yi Zichen, the protection fees he collected from the brats in town paled in comparison. Everything he did before was child's play. That's more like it. Yi Zichen patted Dijie's shoulder and squinted his eyes. I'll give all of this money to you. Really? Boss, I love you. Dijie threw down the shovel and wanted to kiss Yi Zichen, but was pushed away mercilessly by Yi Zichen. He wasn't interested in men at all. Yi Zichen looked towards Yao Hua. Yao Hua and company felt a bit nervous when they felt Yi Zichen's gaze. At the start, They didn't know that uncle was actually Yi Zichen himself. "Can you give me the money you promised me?" Yi Zichen reached out his hand with a smile. Yao Hua quickly handed the money over without any hesitation. Di Jia subconsciously looked up when he smelled the money. His eyes immediately lit up when he saw the large sum of money. Fortunately, he didn't think too much about it. He was someone who knew how to be satisfied. Boss had already given him so much. If he wanted to get more for Boss, then he would be too greedy. What's more, he firmly believed that Boss would definitely give him more in the future. Sincere, Yi Zichen nodded with a smile, then put the money away. At that moment, Yao Hua suddenly knelt on the ground and bit her lips. The Liu family is willing to serve the future lord. Chapter 24:08. The moment Yao Hua knelt down, all of the Liu family clansmen knelt down as well. Yi Zichen looked at them in confusion. What surprised him was that Elder Liu also knelt down. "What are you guys doing?" "My lord, you helped our Liu family recapture our old land, helped our family solve the crisis just now, and also let several families in the town become Liu family's vassals." Yao Hua pursed her lips. "Our Liu family really has nothing to repay you. Is that so?" Yi Zichen couldn't help but laugh. "If you didn't say it, I wouldn't have known that I did so many things. Don't say that you have nothing to repay me with. If you really want to repay me, you can repay me with your body." As they spoke, Yi Zichen reached out to help Elder Liu and Yao Hua up. Actually, he was just joking. He didn't like this sort of solemn atmosphere. What he didn't expect was that Yao Hua actually nodded and looked at Yi Zichen with bright eyes. "If sire doesn't mind, I can stop." Yi Zichen quickly covered Yao Hua's mouth. He really wanted to slap himself. "It's better if I don't joke around like this in the future." If Su Yin and Kiki found out that he was messing around outside, he would definitely have to kneel on a washboard when he gets back. "It's not that serious. I'm just taking money to do things. What's more, don't think too much. I told you guys to collect the tributes for me. You guys have to give it to me when the time comes." "Naturally," Yao Hua nodded. "How could we dare to ask for those things? We are already very satisfied to be able to take back our homeland, but we truly want to serve you. But we sincerely want to serve you. This is not my decision alone. It is the decision of our entire clan." "That's right, sire." Master Liu, who was serious in speech and manner, also walked up. "We truly want to follow you. Sometimes opportunities are fleeting. When an opportunity appears in front of you, you have to try your best to grasp it." The dream of the Liu family for generations was to enter the upper circles. To them, Yi Zichen's appearance was a possibility of entering the upper circles. Even the inflexible Elder Liu was willing to make the family swear loyalty to him. Yi Zichen remained silent. "But that's fine. When the time comes, Chaos City will definitely move towards here. When that happens, I'll just directly take in all of these families. Up to you." The moment Yi Zichen said that, both Yao Hua and Elder Liu revealed a joyous expression. This recognition also gave them hope for the upper echelons. The Liu family had worked hard for countless years. It was very likely to come true. Liu Tianlong destroyed everything with his self-destruction. "It seems like you guys will have to slowly repair and rebuild it," Yi Zichen said as he looked at the flattened area. "This is just a small matter." Yao Hua smiled. Being able to regain the old haunt was something worth celebrating for everyone in the Liu clan. As for some residences, he believed that in less than half a month, this place would return to how it used to be. "Yes, I also have something for you. Please say." Yao Hua's face turned cold. "Dizhou." With that, Dizhou ran over excitedly. Yi Zichen patted his shoulders, then said to Yao Hua, "He's Dijia, a cosmic system state." Cosmic system state? Yao Hua was shocked. She really didn't expect this person who was younger than Yi Zichen to be in the star system level. What was going on? The one who felt the most stifled was Elder Liu. He had been stuck at the 9th level of the star body realm for most of his life. Right now, 2 cosmic system states stood before him. He took Yi Zichen to be a cosmic system level as well. The way he saw it, how could someone who could instantly kill a cosmic system level expert and above not be a cosmic system level? "Senior Dizhou," Yao Hua hurriedly greeted. "You don't have to be too polite with him." With that, Yi Zichen patted Di Jie on the shoulder. He'll be following you around for a while. Go take down the surrounding towns. Senior, I mentioned it before, didn't I? Yi Zichen smiled. You can call all of those families, especially the Wei family. Good. Yao Hua nodded. Di Zhou, follow them for the time being. Yi Zichen turned to Di Zhou. If anyone disobeys, beat them up. Take down those towns for me, and I'll reward you handsomely when you return. No problem. Di Jie patted his chest. If there's nothing else, then I'll be leaving. Yi Zichen was still thinking about Hua Xie's cosmic level. He had to level up quickly and, at the very least, break through to the cosmic system level before he could bother Hua Xie. If he headed over recklessly, he wasn't very confident. My lord, are you heading to our family's secret realm right now? Or, Yao Hua suddenly spoke up. Yi Zichen naturally remembered the secret realm, but he didn't really need it for the time being. His genetic breakthrough had already increased his resistance. The elemental spirits could absorb elemental crystals without any worries. The reason he searched for information about elemental dense places was actually for the future. Another thing was elemental dense places definitely had treasures. After the elements condensed into a planet in the universe, all the elements in the world maintained a balance. If a certain place suddenly had a higher elemental density than other places, then it was worth paying attention to. Was there an elemental mine here? Or some other elemental treasure? Or an elemental land? Yao Hua and Lu Shuiheng said that as well. Their family's secret realm wasn't an elemental origin ground, nor was it an elemental mine. It was just a place where elemental spirits once lived for a period of time. Thus, Yi Zichen wasn't particularly interested. Emperor Star, you can ask him, the lightning elemental fairy suddenly popped out. Why did you pop out? Hee, I feel like they should be talking about the lightning elemental. The lightning elemental fairy smiled. I'm about to break through. If I can find an elemental dense place to live for a period of time, then I might be able to successfully enter the youth stage. You're about to break through. Yi Zichen didn't expect the second elemental spirit to break through the youth stage to be the lightning elemental. Both fire and lightning elemental were strong offensive elements. In the first universe, if one could become the master of these two elements, then their status would generally be higher than others. This was because of the strong offensive attributes of lightning and fire. If the lightning elemental could break through the youth stage, it would be a huge improvement for Yi Zichen. Is your family's secret realm filled with lightning elemental dense? How did you know? Yao Hua was shocked. Yi Zichen's heart also tensed up, thinking about how the elemental spirit's senses are rather accurate. Perhaps it's because I'm a genius. Yi Zichen smiled towards Yao Hua, then spoke up. I'll go now. Chapter 2409. Time flew by like a white steed. It had already been half a year since the Lu clan was destroyed and the Lu family took over their position and reclaimed their homeland. Half a year. To the inhabitants of the universe, it was like an instant. However, during this half a year, the second universe's town had undergone earth-shattering changes. Simply put, the entire landscape had changed. 13 towns had once held each other in check. Although there had been constant skirmishes for tens of thousands of years, there had never been a war. The main reason was that they couldn't do anything to each other. During this half a year, the Lu clan suddenly wantonly attacked cities and seized territory, and in less than 3 months, another 10 towns fell into enemy hands. This sudden change struck fear into the hearts of countless townspeople. But all of this, it was all because of the Lu clan's cosmic system level expert. With a cosmic system level expert, the Lu clan had absolute control over this region. Previously, when a Lu clan had a cosmic system level expert, Lu Tianlong had wanted to borrow the power of a cosmic system state senior to plunder resources. However, that cosmic system state didn't care about him at all. After obtaining the land of the Lu family, he had been staying in the bell tower. The Lu family could only use the threat of a cosmic system state to expand bit by bit. The most fundamental difference between the Lu clan and the Lu clan was Di Zhou. He was truly obedient. During the past half a year, Di Zhou had kept his promise to Yi Zichen. He would fight wherever he pointed, without a word. Because of this, Dijia's image was deeply ingrained in their hearts in this area. A great senior with a shovel. Thanks to his shovel, the other towns that hadn't been attacked yet were terrified. Before the Lu clan and Lu Tianlong even arrived, the towns had already raised their white flags. They were willing to submit to the Lu clan. They were Yi Zichen's subordinates. The second region, which had been divided for countless years, was now united. Those who resisted stubbornly. Kill. Wei Yuan sat in the main hall of the Lu clan. It had to be said that his sudden allegiance was the wisest decision he'd ever made in his life. That was his allegiance. Now, he was able to sit here and discuss matters. As for the other clans in the town, they all beat their chests and stamped their feet. Back then, they hadn't directly pledged allegiance, partly because they couldn't bring themselves to do so. No matter what, they were still a big family. For some inexplicable reason, they had to lower their heads and become the other party's vassals. They, who were used to being clan leaders, found it hard to accept. Another thing was that they didn't expect Yi Zichen to act so quickly. All the towns had been conquered. The resources of more than a dozen towns were now divided between the Lu and Wei families. They were green with envy at the sight of this huge cake, but they could only endure it silently. They didn't have a cosmic system state. Even if they wanted to pledge their loyalty now, it was already too late. The only thing they could do was to watch the Lu and Wei families grow stronger step by step. They had no other choice. We are now facing a very serious problem. Wei Yuan sat in his seat, looking at the senior management of the two families in the front hall. We've conquered the town. How should we deal with the manpower? The people in the front hall all frowned. This was indeed a rather serious problem. More than 10 towns, more than 60 big families. Under the oppression of force, they all lowered their heads and became subservient. But the problem was that no one knew their true feelings. Most importantly, we don't know what the future Lord is thinking, said someone. Someone else spoke up. Sir, do you want to control all of them? Or do you want to let them develop on their own and pay tribute to us every year? That's right. Quite a few people agreed. Everything they'd done up until now had been ordered by Yi Zichen half a year ago. At that moment, they'd already completed their goal of conquering towns and cities. However, Yi Zichen hadn't shown himself for the past 6 months. They didn't know what to do next. Yaohua, what do you think we should do? Asked Wei Yuan. Among them, Lu Yaohua was still the decision-maker. Yaohua frowned. She was at a loss when it came to making the next decision. Lord Dizhou. She subconsciously looked towards Dizhou. Dizhou was no longer unkempt and unkempt. He was now a great senior in front of them. Forget about having enough to eat and live like before. He now had people taking care of him. He was quite content. However, he definitely wouldn't forget his roots. He knew very well that it was all thanks to Yi Zichen that he'd changed. Normally, he'd put a drumstick in front of him when he ate. He'd treat it as a tribute. What? Dizhou tilted his head and looked over with a shovel in his hand. His shovel would never leave his body. No matter what, he would always carry it with him. Future Lord, can you contact him? Look, we've pretty much finished fighting the town, but we still don't know his next step. Yaohua pursed her lips and asked. I don't know, Dizhou shrugged. Then you're saying that in the future, don't ask me. Dizhou waved his hand. I'm only in charge of beating people up. I don't care about anything else. This, Yaohua revealed a troubled expression. She really couldn't make a rash decision in this sort of situation. I can ask for you. Dizhou suddenly grinned. Suddenly, Dizhou grinned. Yaohua and the others were naturally overjoyed. Then please ask Lord Dizhou. This way we can... Just as they spoke, Yaohua looked at Dizhou's outstretched hand in confusion. What? What does that mean? Lord Dizhou, pay up. Dizhou frowned. If you don't pay up, who's going to help you? Everyone in the room was shocked. Aren't we on the same side now? What's more, we're working for the future Lord. Do we have to pay for just asking a few questions? My lord, how much do you need? Yaohua hesitated for a moment, then asked. That's up to you. Dizhou hadn't changed at all, while Yaohua was the same as Yi Zichen had been before. She looked at Dizhou with a strange gaze. The only difference was that Yi Zichen was very obvious, but Yaohua didn't dare to say too much. She didn't dare to offend a star system level senior. Dizhou. Suddenly, just as Yaohua was unsure of what to do, a stern shout sounded out from outside. Yaohua looked towards the door. Everyone in the room hurriedly stood up. Dizhou's eyes also lit up as he hurried over. Boss, do you have any shame? You're screwing over your own people. Yi Zichen smacked Dizhou's head. Dizhou clutched his head and twitched his mouth. He just wanted to earn some extra money. He actually got caught. At that moment, Yaohua and company also walked over. Future Lord. Uh-huh. Dizhou nodded towards everyone. Sit. Chapter 2410. With Yi Zichen's help, everyone in the room started to calm down. Hearing that, everyone sat down. At that moment, Yi Zichen smiled towards everyone. Let me introduce you guys. Chicano, my most trusted subordinate. Chicano nodded towards the others. Chicano nodded at the others as well. Everyone in the room felt a little envious when they heard the word most trusted. Lord Chicano, they cupped their hands. Boss. At that moment, Dizhou popped out and shouted with a frown. Then what am I? He's your most trusted subordinate. What about me? Calm down. Yi Zichen glared at Dizhou, then took out 1,000,000 universe credits from his pocket. Dizhou's expression immediately changed when he saw the money. Hee boss, you're the best. F*CK off. Dizhou ran out the door with a chuckle, then placed the coins on the floor and counted them one by one. Yi Zichen couldn't help but shake his head when he saw Dizhou's greedy look. He had worked hard during this period of time. Just treat this money as a reward for his hard work. Yi Zichen retracted his gaze and looked towards the others. I know what you guys have done. I'm very satisfied. Everyone in the room smiled when they heard Yi Zichen's praise. Future Lord, we have followed your orders and conquered the town, but our manpower. That's why I'm here. Yi Zichen pointed towards Chicano. Yi Zichen had specially returned to the village to bring Chicano here. During this period of time, Yi Zichen had been constantly hunting ferocious beasts in the vicious beast area in order to increase his strength as quickly as possible. However, he was always well informed about the situation of the town. A few days ago, Yi Zichen had returned to the village and found Chicano. Han Qing had taken over the role of city lord in his place. Chicano will stay here from now on. You guys can ask me any questions regarding strategy. You can ask Dizhou about fighting. My lord, then you. Yaohua asked. I have some other things to take care of. You can ask Chicano about any other questions. With that, Yi Zichen turned to Chicano. Thank you for your hard work. This is what I should do. When he saw Chicano's solemn expression, Yi Zichen directly left the room. Before he left, he even reminded Dizhou to stay put. Jian naturally thumped his chest loudly. In truth, Yi Zichen didn't care even if Jie disobeyed. He'd already told Chicano about Jie's weakness. Pay up. Naturally, he became obedient. He found a secluded place to log off. Yi Zichen couldn't help but stretch lazily as he felt the familiar air and sky. It had been almost a year since he went offline. Mr. Yi, Beiyin, who was cleaning the room, was stunned for a moment before she hurried over with a smile on her face. You haven't logged off for a long time. It has. Yi Zichen nodded towards Beiyin, then looked around the room. No one. Beiyu and Bar were not present, and even Venerable Spirit Phoenix was not in the castle. Where did they go? Xiao Yu and young Master Bar went to school. I heard that the school was holding some sort of selection, and they went to participate, Beiyin replied. Selection? The competition between geniuses. Suddenly, a whisper of resentment came from the second floor of the room. Yi Zichen looked up and nearly froze in fear. Venerable Spirit Phoenix. He looked around the castle with his consciousness, but didn't notice anyone else. Big sis, you're still here. To be honest, Yi Zichen wasn't happy when he didn't see Venerable Spirit Phoenix. He thought to himself that she finally left. Who knew? She was actually still here. You're finally willing to come out? Venerable Spirit Phoenix held a doll in her hands. Perhaps Yi Zichen didn't know, but Venerable Spirit Phoenix wasn't in the castle just now. She directly teleported back the moment he logged off. Yi Zichen slowly walked down from the second floor. When he saw Venerable Spirit Phoenix's gaze, he couldn't help but lick his lips and smile sheepishly. I have some things to deal with. It seems like you're doing pretty well over there. Venerable Spirit Phoenix smiled, then pinched Yi Zichen's arm. Venerable Spirit Phoenix laughed, then pinched Yi Zichen's arm. Ninth layer star body? That's pretty efficient. What? All of a sudden, Yi Zichen clenched his fist in shock. Ninth level of the star body? When did I break through to the ninth level of the star body in the first universe? You're very surprised? Venerable Spirit Phoenix shrugged. The strength of the second universe can be brought back to the first universe. The Virtual World Corporation already made an announcement, didn't you see it? And no, during this period of time, he didn't pay much attention to the forums. Instead, he focused on hunting ferocious beasts in the beast area. During this half a year, he killed all of the beasts in the beast area. For some reason, it seemed like there was no end to the ferocious beasts in the second universe. More would be born not long after, just like how the data in a game would be refreshed. All right, Venerable Spirit Phoenix shrugged. Venerable Spirit Phoenix shrugged, then suddenly grabbed Yi Zichen's collar. You stayed in the second universe for so long. You left Laonyang hanging here. You're amazing. Big sis, big sis. Don't be angry. Yi Zichen didn't know why Venerable Spirit Phoenix suddenly got so angry. Less than a year is like a snap of a finger for you, right? There's no need to get so angry, right? If it's cultivation, then yes, but I didn't, said Venerable Spirit Phoenix. Then why didn't you? Yi Zichen hurriedly swallowed his words when he felt that something was wrong with Venerable Spirit Phoenix's gaze. I won't say anymore. I was wrong. But big sis, actually you can go to the second universe to take a look. It's rather interesting. Not interested, Venerable Spirit Phoenix said coldly. Venerable Spirit Phoenix coldly said, my venerable force started from the domain realm? Am I crazy? Actually, the Virtual World Corporation's game is the friendliest to people like you who are in the domain level. It's filled with malice towards us. Why do you say that? Even Overlord levels are at the domain level. They will die if they aren't careful. Isn't that filled with malice? Yi Zichen understood Venerable Spirit Phoenix's reasoning. Overlord levels might die in the hands of star levels in the second universe. That was very unfriendly for experts like them. However, Yi Zichen felt like it wasn't that simple from Venerable Spirit Phoenix's words. Actually, I wanted to take a look as well. It's just SOS. It's fine if you have a need for resources like instantly capturing an elemental fairy or something. There's no point for someone like me who has no desires to go, Venerable Spirit Phoenix replied with a smile. Yi Zichen nodded. I'm actually very interested in you. How did you advance from the star realm to the 9th level star realm in less than a year? Venerable Spirit Phoenix squinted her eyes and asked. Hearing that, Yi Zichen scratched his head and laughed. Big sis, what did you say the genius tournament just now? Chapter 2411. Sly. She looked at Yi Zichen, who was sitting on the sofa. She knew that he was intentionally changing the topic. She pursed her lips, then spoke up. It's a competition between geniuses. It's a competition between geniuses in the universe. Then those big shots go in and slowly groom them into people who can take charge. Just say how smart they are. She shrugged, as if she didn't care about the competition between geniuses held by the big shots. Yi Zichen guessed that she might have acted like that because she felt that the big shots' actions were actually monopolizing the geniuses in the universe. They would invite those geniuses into their own forces before they become famous. After they become famous, the brand on them would already be deeply rooted. That way, no one would be able to shake their positions because all the outstanding young geniuses in the universe were with them. This was the so-called theory of the strong against the strong. Since they were able to invest large amounts of resources in the early stages, they would naturally be able to obtain the expected benefits in the later stages. Towards the competition between geniuses, Yi Zichen had some impression of it. Both Hua Jinro and company in the game and Shaya had mentioned it to him. The selection has already started? Let's start the selection, she said. There's still quite a bit of time before the competition officially starts. The various places should be starting now. Understood. If there was no such selection, then it would be very hard to control both the number of people and the time when the competition truly starts. Choosing the winner on the planet in advance, then sending the winner up through the planet would reduce a lot of unnecessary trouble. You're interested? A bit. Yi Zichen shrugged with a smile. Although he was doing well in the second universe, it was impossible for him to say that he wasn't interested in the competition. At the very least, he wanted to see just how strong and talented the geniuses in the universe were. After personally witnessing the difference between them, Yi Zichen would work even harder. As for the ranking, that didn't really matter. From what he saw, the second universe was more suitable for him. If you're interested, you can go and have a look at your school, she reminded him kindly. Venerable Spirit Phoenix kindly reminded, the people recommended by the universities can skip the second round of selection, which will save you a lot of effort. There's something like that? Just as Yi Zichen revealed an interested expression, she suddenly shrugged with a smile. Looks like it's too late. Beiyin had already mentioned that Beiyu and Bar were participating in the competition, which meant that the college supremacy competition had already begun. He wanted to participate in the Genius Tournament. He also felt that this was the only way for the universities to participate in the battle. They only needed to pay attention to the virtual network in the future. They could even ask Bar when he returned. "Ah, shall you?" Suddenly, Beiyin's exclamation came from the room. Yi Zichen hurried over and saw that Beiyin was watching an online program. It was the live broadcast of the high school genius tournament. On the screen, Suyu was seriously injured and fell to the ground. It could be seen that she wanted to surrender, but the opponent did not give her a chance. "Venerable One, I seem to have become your means of transportation." Yi Zichen pursed his lips and stared straight at her. She could feel the anxiety in his eyes. The Spirit Phoenix shrugged, then grabbed Yi Zichen's shoulder. Last time, at the Blue River Star High School Hegemony Competition, the entire Blue River Star had a total of 12 high schools participating in the tournament. They would fight in pairs to determine the final champion. At this time, Blue River High School faced White Moon High School. Suyu was the first to participate in the individual battle. It had to be said that she did not disappoint Yi Zichen's expectations of her. She, who had not even reached the domain level, was already at the domain level 9. She was one of the top students in Blue River High School. If it wasn't for her strength, she would not have been able to participate in the individual battle as the first. With her strength, she could even fight against someone at the first or second level of the Star Realm. Unfortunately, this time, she met someone at the fourth level of the Star Realm. A woman. The woman was a human girl. She had dark skin and a bloated body. From afar, she looked like a tank. Suyu was a lot smaller and cuter in front of her. The people of Planet Pello had outstanding appearances, and Beiyu was one of the best among them. Her appearance instantly caused an uproar in the spectator stands of Blue River Star. From the first round until the semifinals, Beiyu became more and more popular. When she stepped onto the stage this time, practically the entire spectator stands cheered for her. This scene, it deeply pierced her opponent's heart. The competition, which was supposed to stop at the right time, had turned into a Jura purgatory in her hands. She used the sharpest method. It landed on Beiyu. It was a complete one-sided abuse. Beiyu did not have the ability to resist from start to finish. She wanted to surrender, but the opponent did not give her the chance. "Want to surrender?" Just as Beiyu was about to speak, the ugly woman forcefully covered Beiyu's mouth with her hand. People of Shell Star should just be slaves and pets. Why are you here to show off? Are you trying to gain the favor of a rich man? My boyfriend secretly watches your competition videos every day. You slut. A heavy punch landed on Beiyu's abdomen. This punch caused Beiyu to spit out a large mouthful of blood. All of it stained the ugly woman's palm. "You filthy slave. You actually dare to dirty my hands." The power of the Star Realm was instilled in her arm. The ugly woman didn't stop her punch. Beiyu. Bar, who was sitting on the stage, shouted. Almost instantly, Bar wanted to run towards the stage. The moment he was about to enter, he was stopped by the staff. "Get out of my way." "Sorry, sir. After the competition starts, before the referee decides the winner, no one can enter." The staff replied politely. "Bullshit." Bar's eyes were about to pop. He grabbed the staff with both hands. Can't you see that our people are about to be beaten to death by her? Sorry, I feel bad about this too, but I'm not the referee. My job is to guard here and not let anyone enter. The staff replied, "Ha, come on, hit me." The ugly woman stood in the middle of the arena and grabbed Baiyu's arm, which had no strength left. She swung it around like she was playing with a puppet. Do you know? Even if you admit defeat, no one will hear it. The referee here is for my family. Do you understand? The ugly woman patted Baiyu's face. When she felt how smooth her face was, her pupils constricted. How can you have such a smooth face? 'Tis pooey. Even at this moment, Baiyu still spat at the ugly woman. The ugly woman's face instantly turned ugly. Die! Just at this moment, it was as if a comet had fallen from the sky. The fiery red figure landed heavily in the middle of the arena. He hugged Baiyu, who was on the ground. In an instant, his body burned with raging flames. You can die now. Chapter 24:12. The scorching flames turned into a fire dragon. The fire dragon roared and tried to swallow the ugly girl. No! When the ugly girl wanted to run, it was already too late. The fire dragon had already locked onto her and swallowed her in front of countless spectators. At that moment, Yi Zichen squinted his eyes and looked forward. Who are you? Why did you attack the contestants so viciously? A hunchbacked elder walked out from the flames. He held a walking stick and held the ugly girl in his arms. Grandpa, the ugly girl exclaimed as she hugged the elder in joy. Since someone suddenly barged into the competition was naturally no longer effective. Many people rushed out from the direction of Blue River High. Ball was at the very front. Yi Zichen nodded silently, then looked towards the other people in the school. Is there a healer? I am. A cute girl replied. I'll leave Lil Yu to you. Yi Zichen removed his hand from Baiyu's body. The cute girl hesitated, but the stadium's rescue team is right there. I'm counting on you. Yi Zichen repeated as he stared into her eyes. The girl was stunned for a moment. Then she suddenly recalled the staff at the stadium. They did not stop the competition or let Baiyu onto the stage when she was injured. I understand. Leave it to me, the girl nodded. The young girl nodded vigorously, then knelt down beside Baiyu and pressed her hand against her chest. Yi Zichen let out a deep breath. Who's the leader? Me. The person who walked out was a middle-aged man. Yi Zichen didn't have much of an impression of him, or rather, he didn't have much of an impression of anyone in this high school. He only went to class for a very short amount of time, and spent most of his time in the second universe. All right, I'll talk to you later. Yi Zichen glanced at the leader. Ball, who stood beside him, could clearly sense Yi Zichen's towering rage. Yeezy, back off. Hurry, back off. Take care of Baiyu. Under Bar's urging, everyone inexplicably retreated a great distance. They all looked at Yi Zichen, who stood in the middle, in confusion. Who is he? Baiyu's older brother. Ball didn't know how to explain. He's not for Shellstar. Don't worry about that, Bar said. In any case, that ugly girl dared to bully Baiyu. She's dead meat. Is he very strong? It's all right. Then why did you say she's dead? You have a lot of questions. Bar didn't know about Yi Zichen's breakthrough. For what he could see, Yi Zichen's strength was only SOSO. The truly terrifying thing was behind him, but there was a supremacy standing there. He just didn't know if the supremacy was here. If the supremacy was here, that ugly woman's family wouldn't be able to pay off Baiyu's debt. You're a grandfather. In the middle of the arena, Yi Zichen looked coldly at the elder in front of him. He could feel that the elder was at least a universe-level expert. I wonder who you are. The old man frowned. At that moment, he couldn't tell how strong Yi Zichen was. All he knew was that Yi Zichen was at least at the warlord level, since he could release flames. But in terms of attack power, that fire dragon didn't seem particularly strong. Since he couldn't figure out the situation, the old man didn't dare to put on airs. I'm asking you yes or no, said Yi Zichen. Yes. No wonder. Yi Zichen suddenly smiled. Because you're her grandfather, that's why no one dares to stop your granddaughter from torturing my little sister like that. Right? Wow. The people on the stands were in an uproar. They had felt that there was something wrong with the competition. Since Bayu was no match for him, the competition should have ended long ago. Yet, she had already beaten Bayu up like that. Yet no one came to stop it. Black Sai, tisk, shameless. You're bullying my goddess. Black Sai, the people on the stand shouted. The old man's expression was rather terrible as he looked at Yi Zichen with a frown. Sire, don't say nonsense. Our selection team has always been fair and just. It has nothing to do with whether I'm the contestant's grandfather or not. Your little sister never admitted defeat. We cannot confirm the contestant's will, so we made the wrong judgment. You're also from the selection team? Yi Zichen squinted his eyes. F***CK. He's from the selection team. File a complaint. The people on the stand shouted. Some people had already started a search for the members of the selection team in order to report them. Sire, stop trying to confuse us. The old man frowned. Did I? All right. Sire, tell us your intentions. The old man felt like he couldn't say anymore, since the more he said, the more mistakes he would make. He did not want to lose his position in the selection team. Sire, you suddenly barged into the arena. Since you were trying to save your family, we didn't cause any trouble for you. Let's end it here. End it here. Suddenly, Yi Zichen laughed. Your granddaughter was beaten up like that by my little sister, and you're telling me to end it here? Do you really think that my little sister is easy to bully, or that I'm easy to talk to? End it here. For Yi Zichen, this was only the beginning. Sire, what do you mean? The old man frowned. This is the 8 Titans tournament. All of the staff members of the 8 Titans are here, and even the weakest of them is of the universe level. Are you going to cause trouble here? Are you threatening me? Yi Zichen squinted his eyes. The old man felt a bit guilty since he could not figure out Yi Zichen's strength. Yi Zichen's nonchalant attitude caused the old man to be at a loss as to what to do. After the old man hesitated for a moment, he let out a sigh. I can get my granddaughter to apologize to your little sister. After your little sister recovers, we are also willing to pay you a visit to apologize. From the old man's perspective, he had already given Yi Zichen enough face. At this point, he should be able to let the matter rest. Hey, apologize? Do I need your apology? Does my little sister need this ugly woman's apology? I'm so sorry, but we don't. Sovereign Spirit Phoenix, who was standing in the corner of the spectator stands, smiled silently. From a moment she saw Yi Zichen, she felt like this brat was to her liking. She could tell that the old man was of the warlord level. It was as he said, there were 30-something people of the universe level or above. If it was anyone else, they might really let this go. But Yi Zichen did not. She was very satisfied. That's how it should be. I have to make those who bully my people pay the price. Even if I get crushed into pieces. I can't lower my head. Sire, do you want to become enemies with us, the 8 Titans? The old man suddenly roared angrily, while his aura surged out. Warlord level. Yi Zichen twitched his mouth. Become enemies? Don't put that label on me. My neck can't take it. What I want to do is very simple. I just want to take revenge for my little sister. What I want is your granddaughter's life. Today she must die. I said that not even the Lord can save her. Chapter 24:13. The flames burned. The elder saw Yi Zichen's strength the moment he released the flames. 9-star level. About to break through to the star level. The elder let out a sigh of relief when he felt Yi Zichen's pitiful strength. He felt like Yi Zichen was hilarious. He hasn't even reached the star system level. He actually dared to speak so arrogantly. Where did he get his confidence from? Is this the talent to control the fire element before reaching the universe level? The elder admitted, being able to control the elements at the 9-star level. This talent was indeed shocking. However, the difference in strength was still the difference. Even if he grasped the power of the elements, he was still no match for a warlord. Ha! So you want to kill me? The moment Yi Zichen released his aura, the ugly woman's initial fear turned into disdain. He actually wants to cause trouble for my grandpa. With this bit of strength? Grandpa, leave it to me. Suddenly, the ugly girl was filled with confidence. She was truly at the 5-star level. If she used her trump cards, it wouldn't be too hard for her to deal with a 9-star level. This sort of confidence. It was as if she had forgotten how terrified she was when she faced Yi Zichen at the very beginning. No, the elder shook his head. Although Yi Zichen's aura was at the 9-star level, he definitely wasn't someone the ugly woman could deal with since he had the fire element. The fire element was a strong, offensive element. Huh, are you done discussing? Yi Zichen squinted his eyes impatiently. I gave you guys a long time to think about it. What are you pretending for? Watch me capture you. The ugly woman ignored the elder's words and charged forward. Yi Zichen squinted his eyes. The monstrous flames instantly gathered in his palm. Die. He punched out. The moment he swung his fist, the entire void was whistling incessantly along with it. The ugly woman subconsciously used her arms to block. When she felt that the wind from his fist could not reach her at all, the mockery on her face became even more obvious. You're killing me. Is that so? All of a sudden, flames shot out from Yi Zichen's fist. Scatter. The elder squinted his eyes. He reached out his hand and held the ugly woman in his arms. Stop messing around. Get down. Damn geezer. You're truly a bit annoying. Yi Zichen squinted his eyes. Without any hesitation, he swung his flaming fist towards the elder. The old man pushed the ugly girl away. His fists and feet collided with Yi Zichen's. Ha! Suddenly, a long sword materialized in Yi Zichen's hand and slashed towards the elder. Kunsa! The old man shouted angrily. A wall of sand formed above his head. Huh! Yi Zichen squinted his eyes. Did the old man make the sand, or is it his technique? Anyway, the sand is very hard. Yi Zichen's sword of fire didn't shake it in the slightest. Even so, there was already a huge uproar in the stands. Damn, a stellar-level warrior can actually fight a warlord so closely. Who is this guy? He's too ruthless. Tisk, he's obviously a warlord. He didn't use his full strength. What's there to be surprised about? Don't just talk. Go up if you dare. Beiyu's brother is really ruthless. Someone from Blue River High School followed suit. It doesn't matter if a warrior level uses his full strength or not. This person's talent and strength must be recognized. That's not even close. Paul wasn't as exaggerated as they were. He had personally seen Yi Zichen fight with a warrior level for more than half an hour. At that time, Yi Zichen was only at the stellar level. Countless people discussed amongst themselves. This was supposed to be the venue of the higher education competition, but the competition was forced to stop after Yi Zichen's appearance. However, the atmosphere in the stadium heated up a lot. On the commentator's stand, the special guest that was invited here, as well as the commentator, were all shocked. Star-Lord, do you need us to stop him? If we don't go, then I feel like the competition won't be able to continue. You can't go. Suddenly, Honored Spirit Phoenix appeared on the commentator's stand. The moment he saw her, the Star-Lord of the Blue River Star also swallowed his saliva. Senior, it's you. Honored Spirit Phoenix tilted her head and glanced at the Star-Lord. How's your son doing? I already sent him to join the army. Joining the army is good. Honored Spirit Phoenix shrugged. The Star-Lord gulped. He didn't think that he would be able to see this Honored Spirit Phoenix after so long. So, she had always lived on Blue River Star. Senior, are you also here to watch the competition? Look, the Venerable Spirit Phoenix nodded. She then tilted her head and looked at the commentator beside her. You're the commentator, right? Explain their battle for me. The commentator looked at the Star-Lord. The Star-Lord nodded. Just do what I tell you to do. This was a senior at the Venerable Realm. If she wasn't happy, no one would be happy. Everything's fine. Ahem. All right, let's continue with the commentary. Look at our match now. Young man, you can control the fire element at the star level. Your talent is worthy of admiration, but there's a huge disparity between our realms. Your flames can't break through my sand at all. The elder said to Yi Zichen. In fact, he had wanted to suppress them with a thunderous method, but he didn't expect to find out after exchanging blows. Yi Zichen was actually not much weaker than him. Star rank, it was similar to his warlord level. The only possibility was that his gene level was very high. He started to break through his genes at the star level. This was the theory put forward by the Master of the Galaxy, but it was not suitable for the general public at all. First, danger. Second, Geno stones were expensive. To be able to start breaking through at the star level, he must be a descendant of a large family. Otherwise, a star level wouldn't have the wealth to do so. To buy Geno origin stones, the elder didn't want to become enemies with Ezichin, so it would be best if he could stop as soon as possible. Ezichin smiled. Even he was a bit troubled. He had already fought with the elder for 10-odd minutes, but his flames and attacks were unable to break through the elder's defense. All of a sudden, the two of them froze in the middle. Senior, is that one using fire your descendant? Uh-huh. The spirit phoenix nodded. The venerable spirit phoenix nodded. Then, she frowned and grabbed the loudspeaker. What are you standing there for? Hit him. Are you stupid? Fire can't burn sand. Can't you just use lightning to strike him? The spirit phoenix shouted angrily. Yi Zichen, who was standing on the stage, was shocked. Is she telling me to use lightning? But the lightning elemental fairy is still here. Do you need help? Suddenly, the lightning elemental fairy spoke up with a smile in Yi Zichen's mind. Lil Lightning, I broke through. The lightning elemental fairy smiled. The thunder elemental sprite laughed. Use my thunder. I'll definitely strike that old fellow down. Just looking at him makes me angry. Chapter 24:14. Lightning. The Master of the Stars was shocked. Between a fighter and a controller. Between a controller and a martial artist of the same level, the controller's status was actually higher. At the warlord level, when a martial artist's comprehension of the laws of the universe reached a certain level, they would have a certain chance of comprehending and controlling one of the elements. That would make them a controller. There were very few controllers compared to martial artists in the first place. It was even rarer to be able to comprehend two types of elements. Of the two types of elements, having one type of assault element would cause many powers to invite and recruit them. Two types, fire and lightning. This could be said to be a pure assault-type controller. Even the first-rate families in the universe would personally invite them. Yi Zichen, 9 levels of the Starbody realm. Not yet at the Star System realm. Having control of fire was already very rare, but that sovereign-level senior actually said that he would be struck by lightning. Senior, your junior also has control of lightning? The Master of the Stars gulped, his expression filled with shock. Is there a problem? No. The Master of the Stars shook his head, but his heart was in turmoil. It was one thing for Xing Chun to control the elements. He actually controlled two types. It was one thing for him to have two types, and it was even an assault element. What should he say? Could it be that this was the means of a sovereign? The juniors he taught were all so monstrous. With this kind of talent, he would definitely occupy a place in the human universe in the future. Senior's junior is truly impressive, said the Master of the Stars. You're rather interesting, suddenly. The venerable Lingfeng tilted her head and looked at the Master of the Stars. Under her gaze, the Master of the Stars felt uneasy. Sweat was dripping down his body. He had been wondering if he had said something wrong that made the venerable one unhappy. Or perhaps he talked too much, causing the venerable to feel annoyed. Senior, I wonder, I blew up your son. Shouldn't you hate me? The venerable Lingfeng squinted her eyes. I didn't think that you would still be able to talk to me. Don't you hate me? Junior doesn't dare. The Master of the Stars shook his head with a disappointed expression. Actually, it was good that Senior punished my son. I spoiled him too much. Instead, he didn't grow up, and I was reluctant to let him leave his hometown. Your punishment at that time, Iran has also made up his mind to send him out and temper him properly. As for you last time, as long as he breaks through to the universe level, he can still reconstruct it. He, Venerable Spirit Phoenix, suddenly smiled. She didn't know why, but ever since she arrived at Blue River Star, she realized that the people she met were different from the ones she had met before. Senior, this junior had a slip of the tongue just now. Please don't be angry. The Star-Lord thought that Venerable Spirit Phoenix was sneering and quickly apologized. I'm not angry, Venerable Spirit Phoenix replied. You seem to be afraid of me. Am I scary? Senior, speak the truth. Senior, you do make me a little afraid. The Star-Lord gritted his teeth and said what was in his heart. No matter what, Senior is a sovereign. How can this junior be calm in front of you? All right, I got it. The venerable spirit phoenix nodded and subconsciously touched her face. Am I really that scary? Was I usually too serious? What she didn't know was that the commentator and the surrounding universe-level experts were all completely shocked. The great Star-Lord. He was actually so afraid of the person in front of him. More importantly, the Star-Lord just said that this person was a sovereign. Hey, am I scary? The venerable spirit phoenix patted the commentator's shoulder. The commentator, who was already extremely tense, directly fainted from the pat. AI. The venerable spirit phoenix tilted her head as she looked at the fainted commentator. After letting out a long sigh, she grabbed the loudspeaker. Hurry up and blast him. I still have to go shopping later. At the center of the arena, Yi Zichen couldn't help but scratch his head when he heard the venerable spirit phoenix's shout. This big sis truly has a huge temper. She suddenly told me to use lightning. There's no point in hiding it. Since I already said it, the surrounding audience already knows. What's more, he did want to get rid of this geezer. And get rid of that ugly girl. Lil Lightning. Coming. The lightning elemental fairy spoke up. Endure it. You might not be able to endure my lightning elemental energy for a while. You'll be fine after a while. Come. Rumble. All of a sudden, lightning rumbled in the sky. Blue-white lightning surged from Yi Zichen's arm to his entire body. The entire sky above the arena also turned pitch black. F***CK, what's going on? Lightning. Just now, someone told him to use lightning to strike that geezer. Is he really going to use lightning? He can control 2 assault-type elements at the star level. Too terrifying. The people on the spectator stands clamored, while Yi Zichen's body was also filled with lightning elemental energy. F***CK. The moment the lightning elemental energy surged into his body, Yi Zichen bent over in pain. It was a bit painful. It was a pain that made his entire body feel like it was being torn apart. This is the lightning elemental energy I control after breaking through. It's of an even higher level than before. Lightning elemental energy is a destructive element. Endure it, said the lightning elemental fairy. No problem. Yi Zichen clenched his teeth and shouted. During that period of time, Yi Zichen continued to endure the destruction of the lightning elemental energy in his body. Then his body regenerated, then destroyed, then recovered. 10 whole minutes. Yi Zichen felt as if he had passed through the gates of hell. Huh! Yi Zichen let out a long sigh, then stood up from the ground, while his entire body was covered in lightning elemental energy. This is the power of the elements. Not bad, right? Lil Thunder smiled. This is still a teenager. When I become a teenager, the power of the elements will be much higher than this. I'll wait for that day. Yi Zichen smiled in his heart, then looked up at the elder in front of him. You're not bad. You actually didn't sneak attack me just now. I'm not that stupid, the elder snorted, but he was cursing in his heart. It wasn't that he didn't want to, it was that the space he was in was sealed. Even if he wanted to move, he couldn't. He didn't know why it was like that, but the seal on the space had already been removed. Then you'll regret it. Yi Zichen shook his head at the elder. Then the thunder in the sky became even more intense. The old man, standing below, frowned deeply. After a brief moment of hesitation, he suddenly charged towards Yi Zichen. Too late. Yi Zichen shook his head when he saw the elder charge towards him. Descend. Yi Zichen roared angrily. A lightning dragon that seemed like it was going to destroy the world instantly formed in the sky and tried to swallow the elder. Is that so? All of a sudden, a shadow appeared behind the old man. A cheetah. He was an agility-type martial artist. With the agility of a cheetah, before the heavenly lightning descended, his palm would pierce through Yi Zichen's chest. Chapter 24:15. On the commentator stand. As Yi Zichen's subordinate, the Star-Lord naturally paid a lot of attention to him. When he saw how powerful Yi Zichen's control over lightning was, his heart was filled with respect towards the Spirit Phoenix. Then, when the elders suddenly attacked, the Star-Lord's expression instantly turned ugly. This agility-type martial artist, cheetah martial spirit. This kind of martial spirit could be said to be one of the best among agility-type martial artists. The moment the cheetah martial spirit was activated, it was able to instantly raise the agility of a warlord to the general level, a short distance of less than 100 meters. For the elder who activated his martial spirit, it was merely a matter of an instant. Before the heavenly lightning struck down, it pierced through Yi Zichen's clock tower. Senior, the Star-Lord's heart trembled. If this noble young master died in their Blue River planet, not to mention their Blue River planet, even their entire galaxy would be gone. He never would have thought. The Spirit Phoenix Sovereign's expression did not change at all. Whether it was when she saw Yi Zichen activate the heavenly lightning, or when the elder suddenly activated his martial spirit. Go die. The elder roared angrily, while the martial spirit behind him roared as well. A yellow light flashed. Everything was as the Star-Lord had expected. The elder's agility only increased after he activated his martial spirit. He practically teleported in front of Yi Zichen and slammed his palm onto Yi Zichen's chest. Ugh! The intense impact caused Yi Zichen to cough up a mouthful of blood. However, what shocked the elder was that Yi Zichen's chest was not pierced through by his attack. Not only that, but his hand was also unable to move. Lightning descended from the sky. The elder's pupils contracted, and he directly gave up on his arm. I said it's too late. Just as the elder was about to retreat, the lightning that landed on the ground suddenly turned around and tried to swallow the elder. Grandpa! The ugly girl screamed as she looked at the elder being swallowed in the distant high school district. A few minutes passed. The lightning element spread across the ground, causing the entire arena to turn into a lightning execution field. A warlord-level elder with a cheetah martial spirit. After the thunderbolts were released, they slowly emerged from the thunderbolts. His entire body was scorched black. The martial spirit behind him was faintly discernible. He slowly raised his hand and pointed towards Yi Zichen. Why bother? Yi Zichen put one hand in his pocket and patted his shoulder, then ignored him. The old man raised his hand down. He fell to the ground. Oh my God! F***CK. It can't be. A star-level warrior killed a warlord. F***CK me. I admire his talent and strength, but killing a warrior-level expert will be troublesome for him. No matter what the reason is, humans are not allowed to kill each other. Yeah, this is a live broadcast. The meaning behind his words was obvious. The live broadcast had a wide range. Since Yi Zichen killed a warlord-level person, he would definitely be punished by the human universe's management. It would be fine if it was in private. Perhaps there was a possibility that the situation could be eased, or perhaps it could be said that they would not know at all. No matter what, this person is definitely a genius. Bullshit, do I need you to say that? How can a star-rank warrior not be a genius? He has also mastered 2 elements. Thunder, fire, star rank. The people in the stands who were whispering to each other could not help but look at each other. This was a monster. With his talent, the humans' upper echelons might not care too much about it. The old man fell to the ground. The staff members of the selection team also panicked. The moment he fell to the ground, countless people rushed over, while some people even stood in front of Yi Zichen. You can't leave. I don't want to leave. Yi Zichen squinted his eyes with a smile, then pointed at the ugly girl in front of him. I said she must die. Preposterous. The staff member shouted angrily. What do you think this is? You want to kill someone? You don't even care about the laws of the universe? Do you think the selection team will let you do whatever you want? I'm so sorry. I already killed her. Yi Zichen tilted his head and looked at the old man in the distance. He already had no chance of surviving the lightning. You, the staff member shouted. Yi Zichen sneered as he looked at the staff members. Now you guys came out. I didn't see you guys come out when she was bullying me just now. What? You don't want to care now that you have the advantage. You guys are flattering me as well. I must kill her. If you guys want to stop me, then come and try. Crackle. Silver lightning flashed around Yi Zichen, causing all of the nearby staff members to subconsciously take half a step back. Their eyes remained vigilant. Stop resisting. This is our first warning to you. That's too strong. Everyone from Blue River High was shocked. The selection team all came up. At that moment, There were at least 5 staff members of the universe level or above surrounding Yizichin. Even more so, he still wants to kill that ugly girl. Beiyu is so lucky. Some of the female students in the school also felt envious. Who wouldn't want an older brother like that? For her, to be willing to become enemies with the world. Do you guys really dare to kill that ugly girl? I hope that he does. That ugly girl deserves to die. She actually dared to bully my goddess. No way. The selection team all came out. So what? The selection team is a bunch of worms. That geezer still hasn't woken up. I think he's already dead. Brother-in-law, I support you. Someone suddenly shouted from the stands, and almost instantly, countless people followed suit. Brother-in-law, we support you. Stop resisting. This is our. The selection team members were still trying to convince him. Whoosh. Before the staff finished speaking, Yizichin had already turned into a ray of white light and charged in front of the ugly girl. He grabbed her neck with one hand. All of the students and teachers around her retreated far away. Even if she wanted to ask for help, no one dared to come up. Seeing that, the ugly girl was truly afraid. Her eyes were filled with pleading, hoping for Yizichin to forgive her. Too late. I don't care about normal fights, but the moment you tortured Beiyu, you were already dead to me. Put that contestant down. The selection team members shouted. Yizichin turned his back to them and tightened his grip on the ugly girl's neck. The ugly girl glared at him and slapped Yizichin's arm. Dong! She was thrown onto the ground. The selection team members thought that Yizichin was following their orders. However, when they arrived, the ugly girl was no longer breathing. The people in her school also looked at Yizichin, who was not far away, as if they were looking at a demon. Yizichin smiled at the staff members. I said she must die. Even the hegemon can't save her. Chapter 24:16. You capture him. Take him to the agency for punishment. All the staff members of the selection team rushed over. Yizichin's body crackled with lightning as he squinted his eyes at the people in front of him. How interesting. Just how rotten are you guys? Just because she's a member of that bullshit selection team member's family, you guys can ignore her bullying my little sister? I'm giving you a taste of your own medicine. You guys are biting me like mad dogs. Interesting. As he spoke, the lightning around Yizichin's body became even more berserk, and there were even flames mixed within the lightning. Indeed, no matter where this sort of thing exists, if something happened to your little sister, then we would naturally capture them as well. Right now, you're the one who committed murder, said the selection team member. Well said. All of a sudden, a figure appeared behind the selection team. Venerable Spirit Phoenix walked over with a smile and gently clapped her hands. That's very kind of you. It seems like the selection team is rather fair and just. Who are you? The selection team member shouted. As for our fairness, that's not something you need to say. Crap. When did Senior leave? The Master of the Stars was shocked. Is that so? Should I say that you're stupid, or should I say that you're playing dumb? Do you think I'm praising you? The Spirit Phoenix squinted her eyes. You said that when they died. If they didn't die, then would you guys really capture them? With that, the Spirit Phoenix turned around and looked towards Yizichin. Well done. You didn't disappoint me. You guys are in cahoots. The selection team member reached out. Capture them all. With just you guys. Suddenly, the Spirit Phoenix squinted her eyes. 10-odd Universe and Warlord-level staff members were all sealed on the spot, unable to move. The Venerable Spirit Phoenix looked at them and smiled. Come, try to capture me. Why you? The selection team members were shocked. They struggled with all their might, but the more they struggled, the more the space was compressed. You know, you should be thankful for this year. I've been rather comfortable on Blue River Planet. If I was like before, your soul would have been shattered. The Venerable Spirit Phoenix twisted her neck and said, Don't you want to know who I am? Then I'll tell you. I, the commander of the 9th prison of the human race. Venerable Spirit Phoenix. Asterisk Hua. Asterisk Venerable One. The person in front of him was actually a venerable. Everyone in the stands felt as though their throats were being choked. They were shocked, but no one dared to say anything. Blue River University. Beiyu's brother knows the supremacy. Bar nodded. Venerable Spirit Phoenix. Why does it sound so familiar? Some of the school members frowned, immediately opening up the Universe Network to search. Oh my God, it's actually that big shot. What happened? You can find it on the virtual network. Everyone entered the virtual network, and in less than half a minute, everyone took a deep breath. Venerable Spirit Phoenix, one of the 36 top-grade Venerable Ones of the human race. The human race, the Four Directions God race, the leader of the Fire God clan. It contained 2 spirits. Yiling was in charge of slaughter and destruction. She grasped the destruction space Tao and guarded the human race's 9th prison. Under her watch, no prisoner had ever successfully escaped from the 9th prison. One spirit guarded the 6th battlefield between the human race and the foreign races. He had mastered the Tao of dual flames of heaven and earth. She was known as the Undying Phoenix. In the 30 million years that it had been guarding this place, the extraterritorial king-ranked martial artists and above had not dared to take even half a step inside. Peak battle record. The clone that guarded the 9th prison. He had fought against 14 overlords, but none of them survived. Battlefield clone. Alone, she defended against 60 million foreign race beings, all of them at the universe level and above. None of the foreign race beings dared to step in. Oh my God. Bar was stunned after looking at the news. No wonder. His family's elders were so afraid when they saw the Venerable Spirit Phoenix. They all knew the Venerable Spirit Phoenix. I wonder if she's the one in charge of the Destruction Space Tao, or the Fire Tao Venerable. Needless to say, it's definitely the Destruction Space Tao. Didn't you see that the Venerable said herself that she's the 9th prison's commander? Then why did she suddenly come here? Someone was confused. The 9th prison only holds serious criminals. The weakest is king-ranked. The Venerable left the 9th prison. Someone else should be guarding it. Someone else said, a place like the 9th prison, I heard normal people would go crazy if they stayed there for a few years. The Venerable is guarded there for countless years. She needs to rest too. That's possible. This statement was immediately acknowledged by everyone. They were all very excited. They didn't expect that they would be able to see the Venerable's face at the domain level. Even more unexpected in their school, there was someone who knew the Venerable. Spirit. Venerable Spirit Phoenix. Blue River Star Lord was so shocked, he sat on the ground. The Venerable Spirit Phoenix's reputation and ferocity. Above the universe level, who didn't know. The selection team members were all stunned. Not even half a minute later, greetings, Venerable. Greetings, Venerable. The spectators on the spectator stand bowed as well. This was a respect that every Venerable one had to receive. The Venerable Spirit Phoenix looked at the crowd in disdain. Still want to capture me? The crowd kept quiet out of fear, knowing that it was the Venerable Spirit Phoenix who controlled the Destruction Space Tao, who would dare to say they wanted to capture her. Even an overlord wouldn't dare to. He's my little brother. Are you still going to capture him after he killed you guys? The Venerable Spirit Phoenix pointed at Yi Zichen. We don't dare. You don't dare? Why do you guys have no principles now? The Venerable Spirit Phoenix squinted her eyes. If you guys truly abide by your principles, then even if I'm a Venerable, wouldn't you still capture me as you should? Fair and just. Do you think you have a right to say that? The selection team members were all speechless. Yi Zichen's blood also boiled as he watched from the back. So domineering. This is a Venerable. This is the big sis that I usually have. That's why everyone lowered their heads and did not dare to look her in the eyes. A Venerable that looks down on the world. That's the feeling. These people today, my little brother was killed. If any of you have any questions, then come and find me. The Venerable Spirit Phoenix squinted her eyes, then turned her neck. The Venerable Spirit Phoenix narrowed her eyes and twisted her neck. This is a live broadcast, right? Where's the camera? As soon as she finished speaking, countless cameras zoomed in on her. Hey, my old friends, I've returned from Prison 9. I miss you guys a lot. When I have time, I'll definitely visit and catch up with you guys. Chapter 24:17. For some unknown reason, the Venerable Spirit Phoenix was clearly smiling. But regardless of whether it was the audience or the filming crew, they all felt a chill run down their spines as they trembled uncontrollably. It didn't seem like he really wanted to visit. It was more like he was going to seek revenge. After doing all that, the venerable spirit phoenix withdrew her gaze with a smile. The moment her eyes left the camera, that kind of shivering feeling also disappeared along with it. Senior. At this moment, the Star Lord of the Blue River Star arrived. After cupping his hands toward the venerable spirit phoenix, he waved his hand and several people came out. Senior, this is the best doctor in our Blue River Star. What do you mean? The venerable spirit phoenix furrowed her brows before revealing a look of understanding. You're considerate. With that, the spirit phoenix patted Yi Zichen's shoulder. Hand your sister over to them. Your sister's condition is more serious. It's too difficult to rely on that little girl to cure her, even though she has really tried her best. He looked towards Blue River High School. The girl from the healing faculty was sweating profusely as she pressed her hands against Beiyu's chest. She was really serious. He also tried his best. It was just a pity that her strength was a little lacking. Domain Stage 7. It was very difficult to deal with Beiyu's complicated injuries. All right, Yi Zichen nodded, then directly arrived at Blue River High. The surrounding students subconsciously took half a step back when they saw him. Leave it to me. No. The healer immediately shook her head and used her body to block Beiyu's. When she turned around and saw that it was Yi Zichen, she smiled awkwardly. Sorry, I thought it was someone from the selection team. I'm sorry, I don't think I've improved Beiyu's condition. The healer bit her lip. Yi Zichen smiled towards her, then took out 2 fire elemental crystals. That's enough. He placed the crystal into the hands of the healer. Looking at the fire elemental crystal in her hand, the healer lady was stunned. D-class. It was actually a D-class elemental crystal. When she came back to her senses, Yi Zichen carried Beiyu back to where the spirit phoenix was and frowned at the people behind the Star-Lord. Don't worry, they won't mess around. Venerable spirit phoenix comforted him with a smile, and the Star-Lord also nodded vigorously. Please trust us. We're members of the Virtual World Corporation stationed on the planet. We're not with the selection team. Please. They carefully placed Beiyu in their arms. Yi Zichen's gaze lingered on her, his eyes filled with worry. All right, don't worry. From what I saw just now, this little girl's vitality is much more tenacious than you imagined. As long as she receives proper treatment, she will definitely be fine, said Spirit Phoenix with a smile. All right. Yi Zichen nodded. It just so happens that the Star-Lord of the Blue River Star is also here. We can also discuss some matters. Venerable Spirit Phoenix said. Yi Zichen and the Master of the Stars looked toward her. This is not the place to talk. Why don't we go somewhere else? Isn't there a competition going on here? Sure. The Star-Lord invited him warmly. How about we go to my office? About half an hour later, Yi Zichen followed Venerable Spirit Phoenix and Star-Lord Blue River to his office. The Star-Lord personally prepared drinks for Yi Zichen and Venerable Spirit Phoenix. What does Senior want to say? What do you think of my little brother? Venerable Spirit Phoenix asked. Peerless genius. The Star-Lord's words were definitely from the bottom of his heart. Even if it wasn't because of Venerable Spirit Phoenix, just from Yi Zichen's talent and his previous accomplishments, he was definitely at the top of the Blue River Star, even if it was in the Bonao galaxy. Star level. He grasped 2 elemental powers and was of the lightning and fire offensive type. This could no longer be described as a genius. Monster. Since that's the case, then how about giving the Blue River Star's recommendation title to my little brother? Said Venerable Spirit Phoenix. Hearing that, the Star-Lord frowned. If Yi Zichen was a native of his planet, then even without Venerable Spirit Phoenix's words, he would definitely give the title to Yi Zichen. He would be able to obtain results in the Genius Tournament. He would also gain glory as the Star-Lord and be able to gain recognition. However, Blue River Star only had 1 Star-Lord recommendation title. Under normal circumstances, it was the Star-Lord who recommended the geniuses of his own planet. Senior, you should know as well, the recommendation title is extremely important. What's the recommendation title? Yi Zichen asked. Little friend, the recommendation title is the direct recommendation of the Star-Lord to participate in the Genius Tournament. With this title, you'll receive even more attention. I'll explain it to you like this. The human race has over 1,000 universes. Each universe has tens of thousands of galaxies, and each galaxy has countless solar systems. Every planet has at least 15 people participating in the Genius Tournament. There might be hundreds or even thousands. Do you know how many people there are? A few dozen billion, said Yizichin. A few 100 billion. The Star Lord let out a long sigh. Those who stand out from hundreds of billions are, without exception, monstrous geniuses among monsters. With so many contestants, it's hard to get any attention. In that case, if they don't pay attention to you, there's not much point in participating. Yizichin understood that the Genius Tournament, only 10,000 people could truly enter the top 8. The chances of getting into the top 10,000 out of a few 100 billion were minuscule. What's more, on the way out, everyone would be eliminated due to various factors. There was no lack of geniuses among the eliminated. The Genius Tournament was more like a chance for countless geniuses to display themselves. Through the tournament, they could win the favor of some large families. There are so many contestants. How do you get noticed? That's why the Genius Tournament and the Star Lord's recommendation exist. You have to have both titles. When you participate in the tournament, you'll have this symbol on you. People will naturally notice you. So that's how it is, Yizichin nodded. If he had such a symbol, he would definitely get more attention. Of these two titles, the Star Lord's recommendation is even rarer, and the attention is even greater. Not every planet has a spot, and many life planets don't. Our Blue River planet has a spot. The Star Lord pursed his lips, then looked at Venerable Spirit Phoenix. Senior, actually, I feel that my recommendation title isn't that necessary for your brother, right? You're venerable yourself, so you should actually give him the Venerable recommendation title. Of course I'll give it to him, Venerable Spirit Phoenix said without hesitation. But I need your recommendation title. Chapter 24:18. The title recommended by the Venerable. With the Star Lord's explanation, he believed that this kind of recommendation title was also a symbol. If one were to look at it from the perspective of rarity, the Venerable's recommendation title was definitely rarer and more eye-catching. Yizichin frowned. He didn't quite understand the Spirit Phoenix's intentions. Judging from her performance from the beginning till now, she really wanted to push herself into the competition of geniuses, and she also wanted to attract more attention. What did she mean by that? From a certain perspective, Yizichin didn't really want others to notice him. Venerable Spirit Phoenix knew that he had an elemental spirit. When she mentioned Ray, this meant that she knew that he also had a thunder elemental sprite. Perhaps she knew about her 5 elemental spirits. The other venerables and overlords should be able to sense it as well. It had 5 types of elemental spirits. All he could think of was the Master of the Galaxy. Wait a minute. She knew that he was related to the Master of the Galaxy. In an instant, Yizichin's heart trembled. She subconsciously swallowed her saliva and looked at the Venerable Spirit Phoenix who was sitting beside her. The Star Lord had yet to notice Yizichin's situation. He was still in a dilemma. He did not dare to refuse the Venerable's request, but he wanted to give this title to the people of Blue River Star. I can let my brother join Blue River Star. Suddenly, the Venerable Spirit Phoenix made another shocking statement. The Star Lord was stunned. Venerable Spirit Phoenix said, I know you're worried. Star records are easy to deal with. I can change his star register to Blue River Star. If you give him a recommendation title, I will also give him a recommendation title and also the title of University Hegemony. Senior, why are you doing this? The Star Lord frowned. 3 titles appearing on the same person wasn't something that hadn't happened before. But with the support of these 3 titles at the same time, it was also a kind of pressure. With these 3 titles, anyone who didn't make it into the top 10,000 would be talked about by people on the virtual network to the point of being autistic. You don't have to worry about that. I'll give you some time to think about it. Once you've made up your mind, just say, Venerable Spirit Phoenix, and I'll come find you. With that, Venerable Spirit Phoenix left with Yizichin. On the way back to his residence, neither the Spirit Phoenix nor Yizichin spoke. Why not ask me why? Suddenly, the Spirit Phoenix stopped and smiled at Yizichin. I believe that with your intelligence, You definitely thought of something. Why didn't you ask me? Big sister, are you really Bai Feng's sister? Yi Zichen really did answer the Spirit Phoenix's question. However, he didn't ask about the Milky Way Master. Instead, he asked about something he'd already asked and gotten an answer to. Of course, Venerable Spirit Phoenix said. Then I have nothing else to ask. Yi Zichen shook his head silently, then fell silent. I'm her sister, but we are not two people. In fact, we are one person. After Yi Zichen silently lowered his head, Venerable Spirit Phoenix suddenly spoke up. I am her clone. She is my main body. Yi Zichen wasn't surprised in the slightest. He simply nodded. Now she's sealed in my body. I see. Hey, what's wrong with you? The Spirit Phoenix grabbed Yi Zichen's shoulders. Why aren't you asking anything? Why are you suddenly so depressed? Are you going to use me? Yi Zichen looked up at her with shining eyes as the Venerable Spirit Phoenix chased after him. The Spirit Phoenix was stunned for a moment. She didn't expect Yi Zichen to ask her like that. She had considered countless questions on how to answer, but this, I'm using you. That's enough. Yi Zichen squinted his eyes and smiled. Yi Zichen squinted his eyes and smiled, then looked calmly at Sovereign Spirit Phoenix. I knew it. Why would a sovereign follow me? There's no reason for that. Now I finally understand. So I'm actually a value to be used by a sovereign. I'm very happy. Hey, the Spirit Phoenix shouted. Then what else do you want me to do? Yi Zichen frowned and smiled wryly at the Spirit Phoenix. You're a sovereign. I'm a mere star level. Do I even have the right to argue with you in front of you? Do I even have the right to go against you? I don't. It's already good enough that I'm alive in front of you. What else do you want me to say? Point at your nose and question you. Why do you have to use me? Am I worthy? Yi Zichen didn't want to die. No matter what, no matter whether he was being used or not, no matter what the Spirit Phoenix was planning. He didn't have the mood to care. He didn't have the mood to guess. He just wanted to live. He couldn't die yet. Before a second person who could take charge of the Milky Way galaxy appeared, before the Milky Way galaxy was truly safe. He didn't want to die. He wanted to return alive. Before that, he was willing to endure anything. He was no longer the child he once was. He really couldn't go against a huge being like the Spirit Phoenix for the sake of passion. In order to live, he would rather live. If you feel like I used you and made you feel bad, then I can apologize to you. The Spirit Phoenix looked into Yi Zichen's eyes with a serious look. But I'm doing this through you. You're the most suitable. Also, I'm using you to protect you. Our cooperation is a win-win situation. Protect? Yi Zichen smiled. You should have guessed it. I can see that you have an elemental fairy. There are no less than 10 people in the universe who can see that. Do you think others don't know that you are a seed planted by the Milky Way Master? The Spirit Phoenix also smiled as she looked at Yi Zichen. You don't need to deny it. You are the seed planted by the Milky Way Master. I don't know what relationship you have with the Milky Way Master. I can only tell you that Song Yu. If he sees you, then he will kill you immediately. That's why I'm hiding. But you want to push me out. Yi Zichen shouted. I'm saving you, idiot. The Spirit Phoenix slapped Yi Zichen's head. Do you know that Song Yu has already noticed you? Why would I say that you are my little brother in front of the cameras? I'm telling everyone that anyone who dares to touch you is my enemy. I control destruction and space. In this universe, there are very few who dare to mess with me. Also, why did I push you out? I'm telling you, your talent has to be seen by everyone for you to have any value. Hiding is just waiting for death. Do you think you can hide until you are on equal footing with Song Yu? That's impossible. You have to let everyone notice you and let everyone know about you. Only then can you live. Do you understand? Chapter 24:19. He returned to his residence. Yi Zichen sat on the sofa and repeated the Venerable Spirit Phoenix's words in his mind. He wanted everyone in the universe to see it. Only then could he live. Could it be, was it wrong for him to want to hide it? I still don't understand. In the distance, Venerable Spirit Phoenix walked out with her bare legs and a towel draped over her body. Her hair was still wet, and she was drying it with a white towel. Bain, give me a glass of ice water. Yes, Venerable One. Bain nodded gently and placed a glass of ice water on the coffee table. Call me if you need anything. I'm just outside the door. Bain left the room after putting away the ice water. He even closed the door when he left. "Where did you get to know her?" Venerable Spirit Phoenix asked as she watched Bei-in leave. "This is arranged by the school." "She's a slave?" "Yes, I've already redeemed the Shelluo people." "Not bad." He did not know what the Venerable Spirit Phoenix was thinking. Is she praising Bei-in, or is she saying that Yi Zichen bought her freedom? After that, the Venerable Spirit Phoenix didn't mention it again. She gulped down the ice water and lay on the sofa, watching the program in space. "Venerable, speak." "I still don't understand." Yi Zichen, who was sitting on the sofa, suddenly spoke up. During this period of time, he had been thinking about Venerable Spirit Phoenix's words. He was also considering whether his thoughts during this period of time were correct or wrong. In his opinion, he wasn't wrong. When he first arrived at Blue River Star, he had only just reached domain rank. He had no right to provoke anyone. He also carried the elemental spirits of the Milky Way Master and the safety of the entire Milky Way galaxy. He had to continue hiding. In his considerations, he wanted to at least reach the universe level when he had the qualifications to be independent. He was revealing his power bit by bit. This was the best choice. It would be best if he could join the Virtual World Group or the Universe United Bank, a faction that was close to the Master of the Galaxy. Not to mention his own safety, these two parties could also provide him with sufficient protection. If he were to suddenly reveal it, it was just like when the Venerable Spirit Phoenix had asked him to release the lightning in the arena not long ago. Yi Zichen didn't think too much about it back then. Only afterwards did he say that he could see the elemental spirits. If he knew about this, certainly not to do so. A two-elemental assault prodigy has appeared on the Blue River planet of the Banao galaxy. Just then, the image displayed on the projector was of Yi Zichen releasing lightning and fire to fight the Warlord-level Elder. In the middle of this, there were also reporters explaining. One of them mentioned the truth about Yi Zichen being in the star level and possessing two control types. "Venerable, the show is out. I believe it won't be long before many people notice me. This definitely includes people from the Tsanyue galaxy." That's right. The Venerable Spirit Phoenix did not deny it. If they were suspecting your identity before, then they might be more than 50% sure now. If that's the case, why are you doing this? Tsanyue Galaxy, once a vassal of the Milky Way. After the destruction of the Milky Way galaxy, the Tsanyue Galaxy's growth could be said to have advanced by leaps and bounds. In less than 10,000 years, the scale of the Tsanyue system seemed to have already surpassed that of the Milky Way. There were also many internal experts. Yi Zichen sensed countless dangers from being noticed by such a star system. You might have made a mistake. The Venerable Spirit Phoenix sat up from the sofa when she saw the worry on Yi Zichen's face and looked at him seriously. "I won't deny your previous thoughts. Before you have a certain level of self-protection, what you need to do is to hide yourself. That is relatively safe." Yi Zichen looked at the Venerable Spirit Phoenix silently. He wanted to hear what she had to say next. "But you're safe now." "I'm safe." Yi Zichen frowned. "Because you have me now," the Venerable Spirit Phoenix said seriously. "Perhaps what I'm talking about right now isn't some glorious history, but I can't deny that I'm infamous amongst the human race. You control destruction. Do you know about the Tao of Destruction?" "I do." Yi Zichen nodded. "It's good that you do," the Venerable Spirit Phoenix said. "Since I control the Tao of Destruction, many overlords are very wary of me. Even the supreme ones don't dare to get on my bad side. Of course, that's under the premise that we don't completely fall out. Right now, I'm your shield. If there really are people with ill intentions who want to cause trouble for you, then they wouldn't dare to do anything to you because they are worried about me. That's because they know very well that I truly don't care about the rules of the universe. If anyone messes with me, then I will definitely destroy their entire family." Something like that has happened before. You can check it out in the virtual network. With that, Yi Zichen really did check it out. There were no direct records in the virtual network. However, there were still discussions about the Venerable Spirit Phoenix on many forums. Especially after the Venerable Spirit Phoenix's sudden appearance, the extermination of her family was brought up once again. The overlord of the human race. a former first-rate family. They were exterminated by the venerable spirit phoenix in 200 years, and none of them survived. I was thrown to the 9th prison to be a commander because I was too violent. The venerable spirit phoenix shrugged with a smile. I was even sent there by my idiotic little sister. When she mentioned that, the venerable spirit phoenix's expression was rather sorrowful. Yizichin looked down without saying anything. The venerable spirit phoenix also spoke up. So you really don't have to be afraid. You can show me everything you have. But you can't keep following me, Yizichin frowned. That's right. That's why you have to try your best to get the attention of others. The venerable spirit phoenix also seemed to be rather anxious. I'll die if I get them to pay attention. Is there something wrong with your brain? The venerable spirit phoenix covered her face with her hands as if she had just met an idiot. I didn't think that you would be this stupid. My little brother Yizichin, have you ever thought that everyone in the universe is your enemy? Do you think that the master of the Milky Way is an evil person that everyone wants to beat up? He's the savior. He's an extremely stupid good guy. Do you know how much influence he has in the universe? Do you know how many people in the universe are his good friends? You saw how powerful Star Lord Sanyue is. Have you ever thought about who the master of the Milky Way's friends are? I'll tell you like this. When you can prove that you are the seed that the master of the Milky Way planted, the Virtual Realm Corporation and the Universe Union Bank will definitely support you and protect you. And that idiotic little sister of mine, if you tell her that you are the successor of the master of the Milky Way, he will place the entire Fire God race on you. Chapter 24:20. The entire Fire God clan. The Four Directions God race was definitely a special group. They didn't belong to any faction. Their strength was not stronger than any first-rate family. Do you know, the Fire God clan is the strongest among the four God clans. Only the most elusive Fifth God clan might be slightly stronger than the Fire God clan. If you count the entire Fire God clan, even some first-tier families are not as strong as the Fire God clan as a whole. And this is just my sister's Fire God clan, if there's still the Virtual World Organization and the Universe United Bank. What are you afraid of? Venerable Spirit Phoenix's words were sonorous and forceful. It was like a clap of thunder in Yizichin's ears, jolting him awake. Unexpectedly, the Master of the Galaxy actually left behind. No. Suddenly, Yizichin shook his head. Big sister, you don't even know I know. Just as Yizichin was about to speak, the Venerable Spirit Phoenix smiled. You actually want to say that you still have a Milky Way to protect, right? Yizichin's eyes instantly widened. Milky Way. She actually knew. Ever since I sensed that you have an elemental spirit, I actually wanted to confirm your identity, but you like to hide too much. If it weren't for me, my sister wouldn't have known that you were the seed left behind by the Master of the Galaxy. Venerable Spirit Phoenix was telling the truth. She had already confirmed that Yizichin had an elemental fairy. That's why she kept probing him. But back then, Yizichin was extremely wary of her and didn't want to let her out no matter what. Even the Venerable Spirit Phoenix wasn't sure. Because this matter was of great importance, there could not be any mistakes. Until she saw Suiyun. Only then was she 90% certain that Yizichin was the seed. Then, she took advantage of Yizichin's time in the second universe. Stole a drop of his blood. I know your identity as a Protoss. And I also know that there are many Protoss and beast gods in the Milky Way. I know all these. Why? Yizichin was shocked. Because I was the one who gave these Protoss to the Milky Way Master. Also, your Milky Way galaxy was created by me and the Milky Way Master. Gulp. The fear in Yizichin's heart had already reached an indescribable level when the Venerable Spirit Phoenix said that. She was always like this. What he said shocked everyone to the point that they didn't know how to respond. Milky Way. Venerable Spirit Phoenix also participated in the production. Is it strange? The Venerable Spirit Phoenix shrugged. When you meet my sister in the future, you could talk to her about my relationship with the Milky Way Master. Let me put it this way. Wan Li and Blue Emperor aren't as close as I am with the Milky Way Master. I want to condense a galaxy. I need the 5 elements and spatial elements. That's the bare minimum. I'm proficient in space, he's proficient in the 5 elements, and we both know how to spend some time, so the Milky Way was created. Because I control destruction, so your Milky Way has the great Tao of destruction. This great Tao is my will. If you don't believe me, you can go and take a look at the other galaxies. Or rather, you can look at the entire universe and see how many people understand the great Tao of destruction. Only me. Remember, only me. For some unknown reason, Yi Zichen actually started to believe the venerable Spirit Phoenix's words. His throat moved silently as his brain crazily filled with this seemingly crazy information. If that's the case, why don't other people know about your relationship with the Milky Way Master? Even a Milky Way Master's sister-in-law doesn't know. We parted ways later on. The venerable Spirit Phoenix shrugged casually, as if she said something very normal. The venerable Spirit Phoenix shrugged casually, as if she had said something very ordinary. The two of us only got together because we had the same idea in the beginning. Back then, we were thinking about things that couldn't be seen by others, so we only came into contact secretly. Later on, our opinions diverged, so we split up. Can I know what it was about? From the venerable Spirit Phoenix's words, Yi Zichen felt like their secret contact definitely wasn't about love, but about the entire universe. Sure, I was the one who discovered the second universe, and I was also the one who proposed the theory that the first universe is about to be destroyed. The Milky Way Master and I got to know each other when we were investigating the universe. Since we had the same thoughts about the first universe's destruction, we got together. At that time, we thought about how to survive every day. Later on, he proposed the idea of fusion, while I proposed the idea of destruction. The venerable Spirit Phoenix replied with a smile. Destruction? Destruction first or second? All destruction. The venerable Spirit Phoenix shrugged. The first universe has already reached its end, so its disappearance is inevitable. I don't have any sense of belonging to the second universe, so I wanted to destroy it for him. Then where do the humans live? Yi Zichen frowned. In the third universe. The venerable Spirit Phoenix brought up another very explosive topic. The Milky Way galaxy is actually our experimental product. We created our own galaxies and universes for humans to live in. Due to the Milky Way galaxy's success, I am very confident in my idea and think that it is feasible. Unfortunately, the Milky Way Master is kind. He said that the people of the second universe are still humans and that they have a chance to live on. Don't you think that's funny? The venerable Spirit Phoenix seemed to want Yi Zichen's confirmation, but also wanted to retort. They have a chance to live. Why? It doesn't matter if they're humans or not. They are our enemies. We are their enemies as well. Fusion. There will definitely be a war. The war will affect the entire universe. I think that is a wrong decision for the first universe. Yi Zichen's thoughts towards the venerable Spirit Phoenix. Yi Zichen was partially sure, but also partially not. He also thought that the people of the second universe have a right to live. However, he agreed with the venerable Spirit Phoenix's theory of war. Why can't we destroy the first universe and let humans live in the third universe? Can't the second and third universes coexist? Yi Zichen frowned. Ha, you really are the same as the Milky Way Master. The venerable Spirit Phoenix twitched her mouth. Venerable Spirit Phoenix pursed her lips. He also mentioned this idea, but later on, we discovered a rather despairing reality. What reality? Yi Zichen did not understand. The theory that there is only one universe, which is the uniqueness of the universe. The venerable Spirit Phoenix let out a long sigh and thought back to when she and the Milky Way Master traveled the universe in search of the previous universe. Her expression, when she came to such a conclusion, was very interesting. The human universe can only have one. They cannot coexist. When we destroy the first universe and obtain all of the elemental fairies, then use them to form the universe. The birth of the third universe means that the second universe will be destroyed. The Milky Way Master could not tolerate that. He chose fusion.